He'll be back. All right, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's live stream of the ZodWriter Show. I am ZodWriter, and with me, as always, Johnny Alpha, who is here as Stuball today. Stuball, right? Stuball?
Yeah, Stuball, like the racehorse.
Stuball, like the racehorse that drinks wine, not water. Okay, and we've got that one, Carlos, who is a co-host of the ZodWriter. Always, he's a co-host of the ZodWriter Show whenever he's available, which is great. Welcome back, Carlos, and we have Batdan 530 who is joining us from being really busy too. But it's good that you're here, Carlos and Batdan. I appreciate seeing you guys. This is going to be nice to. It's going to be a nice show. For those that have not seen the DC animated Injustice, for those who haven't seen the movie, I can't say my condolences. I'll just say, because I guess the movie doesn't actually release until next week, but I'm jumping the gun here and we're going to talk about it because I think all of us here on this panel have seen this movie.
I haven't, but I've heard about it.
Oh my God!
I've seen a lot of clips and
if you guys haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it for you, but I do want to spoil it, and I want to talk about it because
you guys are here. It's getting spoiled.
I'm very passionate about it, and I want to talk about it. And I figured we would talk about it a little bit. We talk about it a little bit early because I'm not under any embargo. Warner Brothers isn't paying me, so I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about, and I want to talk about Injustice because this is an animated movie that I was looking forward to. I was very, very excited, and I was really hyped. In fact, this was a movie like Batdan said. Batdan said, I actually pre-ordered it on physical media. Is that not what you said, Batdan?
Mm-hmm. I 100% said that because it looked like a good movie and, one that wasn't rushed.
Right. Right. That's the thing. That's the problem. See, it looked like a good movie, one that wasn't rushed. It looked like this. It looked like that. It looked fantastic. Listen, guys, I could save everybody a lot of time and tell you right now, if you're looking for a faithful Injustice adaptation, done in animated form, done like it should be, to follow up with the books and the video games, you are going to be hilariously disappointed. Yes, You're going to be disappointed because, number one, it doesn't follow anything. It's not really faithful. It does its own thing. It takes all these insane liberties with the story, does all kinds of things, has all kinds of really cool things that it could adapt, and then it decides to just do its own thing. And honestly, the most offending thing that this movie does is, I would say, the last 10 to 15 minutes of the movie is the most offensive, if you ask me, because it just kind of gives up. It peters out at the end, and they just decide, we got to figure out a way to wrap this movie up, as if we didn't rush it enough. So we're gonna end it in a typical animated movie way. We're going to give it what my friend and we used to watch Star Trek The Next Generation together as kids, and we used to call this the 5-minute ending, in which you have this big story that is supposed to lead somewhere, that is supposed to have repercussions on future storylines and story arcs, but it all somehow gets wrapped up in this rushed 5-minute way to accommodate episodic storytelling. And that's exactly what I think happened here. Injustice had a lot of things going for it right out of the gate. First of all, the name alone, Injustice, implies awesomeness automatically. The pedigree of Injustice, those games, those comic books. My God, if you're a fan of that material, you are waiting with bated breath for this movie. Almost in the same vein as those of us who fought for the Snyder Cut were waiting for the Snyder Cut, because that's how important Injustice is to DC. Injustice is huge. So my question is, why didn't they just do a mini series or even an animated series on HBO Max, a seasonal animated series where they could literally tell the entire comic book run and then some, leading into the third Injustice video game, which we know is eventually going to happen. So I don't understand. I'm really, and we're going to break it down. We're going to talk a lot about it. We're going to talk about the voice acting. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about a lot of the missteps. There are some positives, not many, but there are a few. So we'll talk about those. Marcus Cruz says this movie, Zod, is garbage and utter trash. Disrespected the source material. It should have been a limited series instead. Hi, see, you've been paying attention, Marcus Cruz. Thank you for that. And let's see, the Snyder Fan 99, he says, hey, Zod, hey, Snyder Fan, what's going on? We got Noel Martin here who says, hey, guys. We've got Resident Justice who says this movie sucked balls. You know, RJ, the link is in the description, man. If you'd like to jump in and, give your 2 cents on this, you're more than welcome to do so. I do these Tuesday night open panels for a reason. I want to give everybody a chance to come in and, say what they got to say about it. And I feel like this topic in particular is going to be a good one, because I really do want to hear all sorts of different opinions, because love it or hate it, we were all waiting for this movie. All of us were. I mean, even people who aren't even really big fans of DC, even if you're just are just fans of the characters or whatever, you were waiting for this Injustice movie to come out. So
I have a big announcement to make in honor of this show. This is my pre-order for Injustice. You can't see it because on the phone, I'm going to hit cancel right on this show, and I'm going to cancel checked items.
How much was it?
It was like $24.99 4K. So
Jesus,
on ZodWriter's show.
Oh my God. Yeah. Forget that. Bump that. You could use the $24.99 elsewhere. Just watch it online like everybody else did.
I don't know. I'll still probably rent it or something, because I just don't do piracy. I feel
well, I mean, it is on some legitimate sites. I have a Plex Home Media server, and it's on there. So I'm just saying, you could watch it if you want. If you want, I can give you, if you don't already have the login, I can get you set up with that after the show, and you can watch it if you'd like.
Oh, sure. Thank you.
Resident Justice says, I was so disappointed. Yeah, you and me both. And John Paul said, did Injustice come out already? It depends who you ask. A lot of us have already seen it. I think the official street date for Injustice is sometime next week. Isn't it
it's the 19th.
The 19th. So yeah, that's the official release date, which is unfortunate, because it's available digitally all over the place now. A lot of places have it digitally. So if you know where to look online, you can watch it. Without even having to download anything. There's sites you can go to where you can literally just click on it and watch the thing. And we got Neo Sevens here who says it was all right, and we've got Rushman here who says, Zod, congratulations. Oh, thank you, Rushman. Appreciate that. We've got Baby Girl here who says it sucked big time, and we've got Neo Sevens who says, not faithful, though. Yeah, what else is new? This is DC Animated we're talking about. they take a lot of liberties with what they're going to be faithful with versus what they're not going to be faithful with. So
Batman Hush, for example.
Oh my God, yes. Resident Justice says, why? What they did to the Flash is a travesty, outrageous nonsense. I agree. Koopy Malik says injustice. Katsuka says, hola, everyone. What's up, Katsuka? Good to see you. Jacob says, it's bad when the game of Injustice did better justice than the terrible Injustice movie. Well, the games were the originator. That's where Injustice came from. See, you had the game, and then you had the comic books, which were adapted from the game, and they decided to build this entire mythology around the games crafted into comic books. And if you ask me, the comic books are better than the game. The comic books are fantastic. The comic books are deep. These are some DC comics that I actually really enjoy reading. So yeah, we got Koopy Malik here who says, so it's safe to assume that Injustice can't hold the candle Justice League, Throne of Atlantis, or even Justice League War. Absolutely not. Throne of Atlantis and Justice League War were both superior films, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, War is so good.
War is
favorite.
Well, War is almost exactly like its source material. So we're just gonna, just to be honest, I mean, that's what they did here. Jacob Pierce says, what they did to the Flash arc was beyond stupid in the Injustice movie. I agree 100%. Belle Reeve is here, says, Zod. What's up, Belle Reeve? Always a pleasure to see you. What's up, everyone? Smash the mother effing like button. Okay, thank you, Belle. That is awesome. And Katsuka says, more like an injustice. Am I right? Seinfeld music intensifies. Yeah, it was. It was an injustice to injustice. And I you know what? I don't even know where to begin. First of all, I don't know why they didn't get the Batman the Animated Series voice actors to voice the characters. I don't understand why we didn't get Kevin Conroy as Batman Bruce Wayne. I don't understand why we didn't have who was Superman? Wasn't that George Newborn, or there was another one too?
Tim Daly, but they got George Newborn for Injustice and Justice League the Animated Series.
Yeah. So why wouldn't they get the same voice actors, to make it line up, since it is actually based on a video game that's based on some comics? I don't understand why they have to recast all these animated movies. I don't get the point of that. Like, here's the thing. Anson Mount sounded like he was doing his best Kevin Conroy impression. So why didn't they just get Kevin Conroy? Why didn't they just get Kevin Conroy to voice the character? He just, Anson Mount didn't sound really all that great. So I mean, you get the guy that I don't know. I'm very, very frustrated with this movie.
He was honestly the worst Batman we've ever had. Like, the voice acting was just terrible. He sounded bored the entire time. And the way he was drawn, he didn't even look like the rest of the characters. His face looked like one of those old troll memes that you used to see in videos all the time, like in the 2010s, man. Like, I don't know how they could drop the ball so hard with Batman on a film that relies so heavily on him, but that was one of the main cruxes of it. It was a terrible Batman. He was drawn horribly, voiced horribly. He didn't even really act very much Batman-esque. That was one of the main failings of the film, was just Batman and period, in my opinion.
Oh, and I have to stop here now because this is the first super chat I've ever gotten on a ZodWriter.
Hey, thanks, bro.
On a ZodWriter show, ever. Oh my God, Rhea, thank you so much. I appreciate it more than you will ever know. I've only got one video queued up that I can show, and I think a lot of you who are here early know what video I'm going to show right now. Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can get it. And Rhea says, kneel before Zod, pow, pow. Thank you very much, Rhea. I really appreciate this. Let me go over here and see if I can find the video that I was going to. If I didn't get rid of it already. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here we go. Here we go, everybody.
Oh, facts, man. He had 500. Now he's got 1,000. Yep. This is some CSI shit here, dude.
Oh yeah.
Like honestly, man himself made this video. The Great Detective.
Oh yes, this is Batman style material here.
You got exposed, dude. Like, how are you gonna do it?
How am I gonna do it, channel? That's it. I've been exposed. So thank you, Rhea. I appreciate that very much. You are absolutely wonderful. And we actually have another super chat here. I appreciate this so much, guys. Thank you so much. That one, Carlos, says, make that 2. Okay, Carlos. Well, as of right now, like I said, I only have one video, and I'm going to go ahead and show it again because I love it so much. This is great. I've been exposed, ladies and gentlemen. So hold on a minute. Let's try this again. Okay. Here we go.
The more I watch it, the more I'm convinced, man.
Me too. Oh yes.
You can get away with this, Zod. You're so boned, man. Look at that spike. Oh my god, that's proof. That's proof.
I got exposed.
You got 1,000 fake subs too. It says right there. Oh, proof. Oh man. The only thing now for you now, man, you gotta you gotta have to call in and play the Squid Game now to reclaim your heritage and your humanity. That's the only course for you to become a man again. You've been exposed, dude. Hardcore.
And
those facts. Prime don't even bring facts like that. Prime. You got more you got the facts on how Zod's exposed, man. Drop some more facts on us.
Right, I've been exposed. Let's that's the actual factual, right?
It's hilarious.
And Snyder Steppenwolf says injustice was ass juice. Well, I don't know if I would. I don't know if I'd go that far, but
it wasn't ass juice. It was. Did y'all talk about it yet?
We are. We're talking about it now.
A little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
Ass juice. It was just butt sweat. It was close.
Right.
I need people. There's one thing that stood out with this movie, and I know it was a lot of Warner Brothers because they wanted to do a budget and they rushed it. People, if you don't know Injustice, okay, because I think majority of the people, they only know Injustice because of the video game. Okay, they haven't read the books. So the books is the source material. The game has concepts of the source material, but when you read the books, this is how big Injustice is. The movie, they should have broke this up into the Long Halloween. Because if you watch,
at the very least,
you're right. If you watch the Long Halloween is 3 hours plus. If you watch part 1 and part 2 together, all right. Injustice is a big story. If you read the story, they chopped up so much out of the story. They fucking forced it. The one part that didn't make sense, that's not going to make sense, is the when they brought Earth Zero Superman. I'm like, okay. And another part that didn't make sense, which they rushed, was that they didn't even show the dynamic between him and Diana on her really just trying to get with Kyle. Now, I would say this. That movie was not an R rating in my estimation. The only reason why they gave it an R is because he punched Joker, and that was it. That was where the blood was. Okay? So...
Well, he flew through Solomon Grundy. That was pretty gory, too.
Well, he's
Solomon Grundy kills pretty gory, too.
Yeah, he flew through him, but, I mean... I'll say, like I said, I can go more in detail. I don't want to, because I know everybody got other stuff on the panel, because I could go on for days with this. I would say is this. It was rushed. It shouldn't have been an R rating, and they should have broke it up into 2 or 3 films. Because Injustice, just from the first part, it's 153 books. Just from the first part, it's 153 books. You know how long that is? And how long that story goes? I'm talking about Gods Among Us. I ain't talking about part 2. Because part 2 is 72 books. And a lot of people ain't read part 3, which is only 14 books. And the only reason why it's 14 books because Tom Taylor got off of it. But I regress.
Here's the thing, too, when it comes to Injustice. I don't know if you caught this, Prime, but they played the theme music from the Superman Doomsday animated movie. I don't know if you caught that. And I was trying to figure out if they were trying to, in some way, loosely tie it to that a little bit and say that it was in the same continuity as that movie. Because there's a lot of things that kind of, especially at the end, where they did almost the exact same ending at the end that we got from that movie with Injustice. I was like, wow, they're not even going to try to pretend what they're doing here. They basically are recycling stuff now because they don't know what to do. They clearly did not know how to end that movie, because here's the thing. They just wanted it to be a cash grab. They wanted it to be a tie-in and a cash grab. They wanted Batman's $24.99 for the 4K Blu-ray. That's what they wanted. They're not trying to do it right. They're not trying to give us what we were supposed to get, because in the first place, if they were going to give us what they were supposed to get, they would have got the same voice actors from the video games to come back. They would have had Kevin Conroy as Batman. They would have got Mark Hamill to voice the Joker.
Mark Hamill didn't voice Joker.
Well, the voice acting was pretty good. The only one I would say that was rushed, where there really wasn't. Okay, there was some cheese, but it really wasn't no emphasis. The guy playing Superman. So I would say this. Okay, I would say this, and I'll leave it at this. I'm kind of it saddens me, because the newer people that's going to watch this, they're not going to get the full Injustice feel.
That's right.
They're just not. And my thing is that Injustice is. You said what?
Go ahead, finish up. I was going to talk about Superman too, but I'm going to let you finish.
Right. It's just that they're not going to get the Injustice feel. And my thing is that if they want to get a glimpse of it, it's just that Injustice is so goddamn huge, man. It's like they chop that shit up so much, and people are going to go into it and be like, that's what Injustice is? I'm like, no. You got some elements that's there, like the beginning. This is the part that really got me at the beginning. They rush Joker's emphasis so much. It's like, okay, we know he's going to get the fear toxin from Scarecrow, but the way they did it, they rushed it. Because in the book, him and Harley playing out all the shit. You see how they get everything going. Then it's like there was not no really type of emotion, like no anger from Kyle when he killed Joker. I could go on for days with it. Go ahead,
Johnny. Go ahead, Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny, go ahead, man. I mean, I just feel bad for the people the new people that's gonna watch it.
Well, definitely, because the thing is they were afraid to make evil Superman actually evil. He was basically just lightly conflicted Superman with a few bad ideas. Like, he never really steps across and becomes the twisted, evil, terrifying Superman from the video games or the comic books. He just kind of is a little conflicted. He takes some wrong steps, and it ends so fast that he never got to be evil. It was like they were too afraid to even do the story, so I don't even know why they bothered. Everyone's like, they should make it a series. If it was based off of this script, I really wouldn't want them to, because it would just be a long ass drawn out version of what we had of a Superman that's never going to actually be evil. Like if this was supposed to be like how the game was, Superman would have been like what's his name from The Boys, the Homelander.
Oh,
you talking
about-
Like
yeah.
that, but even more
Yeah.
not cheesy. You know what I mean? He would actually the scary version of the Homelander, which he wasn't in this film. He was just kind of like, well, gee whiz, guys, I just want to keep people from having guns. You know, and it's like, no, Superman's not like that in this. He's supposed to be Darth fucking Vader. Or, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Darth
yes.
Darth
He
Vader.
was supposed to be. He was supposed to be Darth Vader. And here's the thing: if you watch Injustice, just watch. You know, here's the thing: if you don't have a console and you just want to see the Injustice story, you're actually better off watching the cutscenes on YouTube. There's people that have actually there's people who have actually cut the game cut the game together as like a movie, and you can literally sit there and watch the entire game play out as a legitimate story, and it's way better. And if you ask me, they should have just hired this fan editor who cut it all together and put that on 4K Blu-ray for Batman's $24.99, because ultimately that would have been a better interpretation of what Injustice is, rather than this animated movie that they tried to do. I mean, Johnny, guys, we got to talk about how bad this voice acting was. This voice acting was so atrocious. And like you said, Batman, Anson Mount is a wonderful actor, but he sounded bored as could be. I mean, the dude sounded like he would have rather been anywhere else. Every line, it was terrible. Wow.
And now, the only thing that I would say is that I understand, and don't get me wrong, Harley was the comic relief in the whole damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Plastic
it's like,
Man too.
yeah, Plastic Man too. It's like, Injustice is supposed to be fucking serious as hell. And it's like, man, I enjoyed it for what it's worth, because I knew what they was doing. What upsetted me was that, back to what you were saying, Zah, about the voice acting. It's like the way they made Cal was like he wasn't even mourning. In the comics, he is bawling out. He is furious. He is fucking pissed. They didn't even show that. I'm like, he didn't even show no type of emotion, even with the voice acting. I'm like, what the fuck is y'all doing? That is not the way this is supposed to be done.
Yeah, it was horrible.
He killed Lois, and even when he went to go kill Joker, it's just like he just blasted through the thing and just punched him. It wasn't no conversation. He didn't cuss Joker out. He didn't do shit.
Prime, this is a good example right here where Power Talk here says it shouldn't have even been called Injustice. And that's where I completely agree, because here's the thing, Prime. Remember when I mentioned earlier about it being seeming like it was connected to Superman Doomsday? That animated movie, that was the first time they ever tried to do a Death of Superman animated movie with Superman Doomsday. That was actually the first DC animated movie that they ever released. That movie was the same scenario with the Death of Superman storyline. They took the same kind of shortcuts, the same kind of liberties, the same kind of like fast track. It didn't make any sense the direction they went with that, just like with this. So it feels to me that it's actually very, very much in league with that movie. And remember how like later on they decided to do a proper Death of Superman storyline where they actually did the whole death and resurrection with the three Supermen, and they actually did the entire story. And that's what I think is going to happen with this Injustice thing. I think what they did here was just they know Injustice is a big story, so they just decided we're going to do a test run. We're going to do a movie. We're going to just do a movie, rush a movie out the gate just to see how it sells, just to see what kind of appetite there is for it. And then maybe later on down the line, we'll do a proper one like we did the Death and Return of Superman. So that's what I kind of feel like they're doing, even to the point with the music cues with Superman Doomsday, as if to tell people, hey, this is just an experiment. This is just to see what the market is like for Injustice. We'll do a proper Injustice movie later. It just feels to me like they know that this is a hunk of crap. They knew that this movie wasn't going to do Injustice justice, so to speak. But it was just to test the market, because it just doesn't feel, if they really want to do this story right, it would have been in its own series, or it would have been like a mini series of some type where, you literally, HBO Max needs content. Who wouldn't watch an Injustice animated series?
I was just about to go there on what you were saying, that because now I'm going to piggyback on what you're saying. Because if this is their idea, okay, not saying it's concrete, it's a possibility, but let's just say that's their idea to throw this out. That's the most stupidest shit that you could do, to try to do an experiment. Because now you're going to put a bad taste in the true fan's mouth. And then when you try to reincorporate it and put it out there, people ain't going to want to try to get it. And that's why I said, like, with the general audience and the people that really don't know Injustice all like that, they're not getting the full taste. So if that's the case, let's say hypothetically it is, and they want to see the market, which I don't think that would be the case, because Injustice is one of the best DC stories ever done, period. From books, everything, games, all that shit. So I'm like, from actual DC people or people that just know of it, it's not like they don't know. But if this is the case that they're experimenting, let's just say hypothetically it is, it's the most stupidest move to do. Because like you were saying, Zai, you got HBO Max, you could have flushed this out into a 10-episode series. Easy. You could have did it. You could have did a 10-episode, flushed it out, and it's only on HBO Max. You know what I mean? Yep. Motherfuckers would watch that shit.
Yep.
I know I would.
Yep.
And I'm talking about it'll be a hard R too. It ain't gonna be no cheesy bullshit.
My question is, what does Tom Taylor think about all this? Because let's be honest, if they consulted him at all.
Oh, is he the creator of Injustice?
Yes. He wrote like the first omnibus. He wrote he wrote all three of them.
Did he write all three of
them? Okay,
yeah, he did. Gods Among Us. He did Injustice 2 and 3. He got off once issue 14 stopped, and then they stopped the Injustice. So he wrote all of it. Okay, and then John Benedelli continued after that and continued.
Brian, who else? Brian, there was another one on there. Brian Bucalato, I think is his name. Bucalato. He came on in year 4.
Yeah, Ben Bucalato. That's what I'm saying. He came out. Yeah, after Injustice 3, Tom Taylor did 14 books, but then he continued on after that. Ben continued after that. So Tom Taylor is not on Injustice no more. So with all that shit Tom Taylor wrote for Injustice, he wrote 230 some books for Injustice.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it was incredible stuff. I don't know what, that's why I'm saying I don't see how you mess something like that up. And I mean, if they really wanted a dark and twisted DC Comics animated show, They could have put that on HBO Max. I mean, they got that Harley Quinn show, so they know that adult animation on HBO Max would work. They could have taken Superman to that level that we've been talking about. They could have literally made Superman into super Hitler or Darth Vader. They could have went that direction if they would have had the time to do it. By doing this movie, you had to truncate so much. This is essentially, and I'm going to make a comparison here, and I don't know, people might laugh a little bit, but I think that it's an apropos comparison. It's like a Justice League version of Injustice.
I won't go that far.
I want to say because they twisted so much and they did so much. They took so many liberties with it and did so many weird and nonsensical things that didn't jibe well with the books at all whatsoever. I just felt like it was Justice League basically, because I can't think of how, as a creator, if you're gonna do an Injustice animated movie, knowing how great of a story Injustice is, knowing how beloved it is, knowing that it's the video games are fantastic, and the comic books are just as popular, if not more popular than the games. How do you mess something like this up? It's like I had the same reaction to this that I had after watching the Snyder Cut. After watching the Snyder Cut, I had to ask myself even further. Really, the question really is, how do you mess something like this up? But you have proof because you have Justice League, so you're able to see how they were able to mess something like this up. So now, if they eventually decide to do an Injustice animated series that's completely unrelated to the movie that we got, and they decide to go that route, and they decide to literally adapt the comics faithfully and correctly, they need to do it the way they're doing that Invincible series on Amazon. Because that Invincible animated series is following the source material very, very closely, yes. And it's taking liberties every now and then for cinematic purposes.
Well,
they're not. What? Go ahead.
I was just saying that they're working in tandem with the creator of the Invincible comic.
Yeah.
And what he's like approving everything, and he, of course, any artist wants to revise their work. So because he's there, he revised it for the better,
Debbie was actually a good character. I heard in the comics, Debbie was this horrible person who blamed Mark for Nolan leaving, whereas in the animated series, she's actually a strong character.
Yeah, and Amber is more developed, even though there's some iffy stuff with episode 7, which kind of went down the toilet, but we don't talk about that.
They're making, but see, the thing is, any changes that they're making, and I love what you just brought up, Carlos. That's amazing. Any changes that they're making in coordination with the creator of the actual books. So if it's okay with the creator of the books, I'm okay with it, because if the creator is signing off on it, then you know that you're going to still get something high quality. And the only way that the creator is going to sign off on changes is if the creator believes that those changes are going to be better for the story that they're trying to tell on television.
The thing is Robert Kirkman completely owns Invincible. It's his. Image can't tell him anything, whereas Tom Taylor doesn't own a damn thing that has to do with Injustice. He just kind of wrote the comics, and you're never going to see that kind of leeway given to a creator like him on a property like that, like you would see with Injustice, where Kirkman is the daddy of it all.
You mean Invincible? You just said Injustice.
Yeah, I meant Invincible. Yeah,
but I mean, yeah, it's still they really at least what I saw in the movie, they really took very fundamental things within the Injustice storyline, fundamental and iconic scenes, especially when I was watching some of the clips. They took out the Flash and Superman chess scene and they replaced that with Mr. I forgot the the person they replaced.
Terrific, Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific, and it's like, like the Flash is supposed to be in kind of like auxiliary for the.
I know
for
why
the
they
au-
did
for
that.
the
I know
audience.
why they did that though. I know
And
why
it-
I know why they threw the Flash away for this movie because they have some sort of fetish right now because they're worried about that Flash movie that's going to be coming out. I know that there's some connection to why they treated the Flash like that in this movie.
I was just about to say that, but
I'm not, and this is my thing. I understand that you have to take liberties with stories when you do animation. You can't just straight adapt the source. We know that as a fact, because you can look at again Invincible and see that even though they can get very, very close, there's changes they have to make for the sake of the story that they're going to tell on TV. But here's the difference. The difference here is they just made changes. It looks like an injustice just for change's sake because they either were too lazy or they didn't want to adapt certain things. I think it's more of they just didn't want to adapt certain things and they knew that they weren't going to commit to doing more Injustice movies. That's the other thing. They sort of definitively wrap this up in a way that they're basically telling you at the end that they're not going to make any more Injustice movies. This is it. This is the story you're getting if you want an Injustice movie. That's why when I'm thinking Prime, the actual factuals, I'm thinking that at some point we may get an animated series that has nothing to do with this movie if they really properly want to adapt Injustice, because this movie leaves no way open for them to do another one. They pretty much wrapped it up in 5 minutes to say we're never doing another movie, and the plot device that they used was so stupid and so just cliche. I mean, if you've actually seen this ending before in some other DC animated movies. That's what makes it so bad. Oh my God, it's horrible.
And the bad thing about it is that I want people to understand the first episode, if they would have did a series so people can understand the plot, even though they chopped it up, that would be a good 40 minutes just for you understanding. Okay, first of all, you got to go through the relationship. First of all, you got to build up. You got to build it up just like the book, or if you watch it, the Lois and Kyle, what they're doing. That way you will build up the relationship, so people can see how good their marriage is, their relationship is, how much Kyle and how ecstatic is. Yeah, they glimpse by it, but it's rushed. Then when Joker and Harley, when they're doing their plan, people fail to realize is that you don't know what actually happened. First of all, when Joker got Lois, okay, you don't know what the plan was. Actually, in the book, he tells everybody what's going to happen. Metropolis will blow up. And Bruce is supposed to try to get Clark before he does what he does. See, they took an important piece out.
Oh yeah.
But he didn't get the Clark in time before he started until he was hallucinating. They didn't even go into the detail. Okay, the neurotoxin, the frightening, oh my God, the fear gas from Scarecrow, okay, they didn't even go into the full detail of the deal that he had with Joker. It's like, and then Joker and Harley just screwed him over. And you see that they killed Scarecrow. But what I'm saying is that then he gets the bomb. Because in the book, they trying to look for the bomb. They took that out. So what I'm saying is that while they're looking for that's why I'm saying when Flash was killed, they took him out. I'm like, what the fuck is y'all doing? That's not the story. You gotta flush that out so you will know exactly what's going on. Then this the thing that really pissed me off. You trying to tell me the Justice League didn't know who Lois Lane was? They all acted like they didn't know who Lois Lane was.
That was crazy too. They acted like she was a brand new DC character.
Ain't nobody know who Lois Lane was, but her and Kyle is married. Like, come on, man. That was the part that I'm like, what? I'm like.
And here's a point that Double MJ is making that I think is absolutely on point. Has anybody mentioned the fact that, spoiler alert, the Flash dies and nobody in the movie acknowledges it. Nobody. And this is, of course, and this, my friends, is the quote of the night, because this is absolutely the truth about this movie. This is this movie in a nutshell. This is this movie in a nutshell right here. Nobody acknowledged it.
Nobody acknowledged Barry being gone. Now, one member, nobody. They didn't say nothing about Barry. And I thought about it, and it's a good thing you brought that up, because it blew my mind. Nobody. You know what I mean? And then just another dynamic that kind of got me. I said it earlier, but y'all don't understand is that Diana stuck by Kyle's side. But Diana, they didn't show the plot. They showed her try to kiss Kyle. But they didn't show how aggressive she was to be with Clark.
I was offended by how quickly they tried to make, and maybe that's just because of the time, because it's a short movie and they only got so much time. But I was kind of offended, Prime, by how quickly they tried to push Diana on Cal after Lois Lane died. I feel like, they made it seem like, and you made the point earlier that he barely had time to mourn, and he was kind of, stoic. He really didn't mourn that much. They literally had him bawling like a little baby in the comics. Even the video game, he had more emotion, and he was a lot more. He was great in the video game. I got to give it to him in that video game. That video game is cinematic as hell, especially when you compare it to what we got in this hunk of crap. Basically, Diana comes off as thirsty Lois in this movie. Thirsty Lois from Justice League. This is how they made Diana. Very thirsty for Cal. Like she barely, you talk about simping for somebody. He barely had a chance to mourn the loss of his wife and future child. And Diana is looking to hook up immediately. Right. She's trying to jump on that right away. And
people fail to realize in the book, Diana is the one that manipulates Cal and puts stuff in his head. Yep. Even though she was right, Diana was the one that pushed him.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Diana, that's why they say, they always say, guys, everybody here on the panel, they always say that behind every tyrant, behind every great tyrant is a woman. They always say stuff like that. And when you look at Injustice, the story, the comics, and the game, it's exactly true. Because whispering little nothings into Kal-El's ear is the Themyscirian monster. She comes in there and she's whispering sweet nothings into Kal-El all throughout. I believe like Injustice as a story works so well because Wonder Woman is so manipulative. And in this movie, not only does she not really come off as manipulative, she comes off just like, number one, she comes off as thirsty. And number two, maybe it's because of the runtime, but she is so quick to turn on Cal, to turn her back on what they established, on what Cal was doing. She wasn't even true to how her character was in Injustice as a story.
Yeah, and it's the thing what people fail to realize about Diana. Diana, her character do everything. Because people, you remember I said this before. I said, if they do this Injustice right, which they didn't, okay, people are not going to like Diana if they Wonder Woman fans. They're not going to like her. What they will like is that this goes back to the reason why in the New 52, why Superman and Wonder Woman became the couple that they was.
Yes,
because
yes.
See, y'all, if y'all read that series, you will understand why Diana, they're the perfect couple. That's why I said, if Superman and Wonder Woman they're a true power couple. You ain't fucking with that. I'm sorry. You ain't fucking with that. So what I'm saying is that with her, it's like her character, Diana is loyal. She's not going to change once she has a direction of what she wants. And in Injustice, she agrees with Kyle. See, my thing is that I'm Team Superman in Injustice all day. Okay? Because I agree on the reason why, because there's a lot of things that he did that I agree upon. Diana was the same way. You got to remember, she's a warrior. In her mind, if y'all read the books, is that if you read the books, is that it's the same thing. She agrees. I think everybody will agree is that unless you just a diehard Batman fan and just blind as fuck, who on this panel agrees that Joker should have died a long time ago? And Kyle was the one to do it because of what he did. It took this man, it took the Joker not only to manipulate the Man of Steel, he killed 2 million people. Okay? Then you manipulating him for him to kill his wife and his child. Imagine that. Think about that. See, people going to think, no, he need to be brought to justice. Why would he need to be brought to justice? Why? This is the thing that why Injustice is such a good book, because it pushes those elements. This is why I say I don't like Batman in Injustice, because his moral code, as people say, his moral code is this. Joker, and there's a stat, actually, I have to look at the books. They said Joker, by numbers, and it could be greater, has killed over 5,000 people. It could be more than that. Okay? So you think about this. Joker, all the shit that he has did, you stick his ass in Arkham, he always break the fuck out. And he hurts more people. He don't hurt the people, he kill them. Yep. But you stick him back in there, but the law keeps on failing on this dude.
That's it. That's exactly right. So you gotta. So if you're reading Injustice, there's a lot of things in Injustice that will make people Team Superman, and that's what makes it so. That's what makes it such a compelling book, because it really does ask those questions. It asks the hard questions that a lot of the comic books and normal storylines just ignore about this maniacal serial killer that is the Joker. And Neo7 says, seems like a doomsday death of Superman situation. Yes, exactly. We mentioned it earlier. He said, and Double MJ says, I think this movie is worse than the Batman Hush movie. Absolutely. Hush took some liberties, but Hush wasn't as bad as this.
Hush, I would have to agree. You know what? I would say this. Oh my God, I'm so conflicted. I enjoyed the Injustice, but I am highly disappointed. The reason why I say I enjoyed the Injustice because we finally got it as an animation. Okay, we finally got it as an animation, but for what they did to it, I'm highly disappointed. I don't care for the cheesiness. So I'm just like, I'm 50-50 with it because I'm such a DC fan and I love the Injustice story. And it really.
I love the story too. That's why I'm so upset, because I love the story. The story is, in my opinion, is one of the best DC stories ever told. I mean, they literally are giving us stuff where we actually have to question these characters in real world terms, which I think is fantastic, which is one of the things I love about, I got to go back to, Zack Snyder's take on the characters. He forces us to question what these characters are doing in real world circumstances versus just, giving us a typical comic book story. Injustice is not a typical comic book story.
It's not.
So Johnny, my question to you is, man, who was the worst voice acted character in Injustice? For me, it was Batman.
Really?
Yeah, Batman. Yeah, Batman sucked, dude. Like, at least the Superman guy, he was competent, but he didn't show emotion when it was supposed to. One of my other favorite things that this movie did, which was terrible, was you knew exactly what hero was going to die because they didn't appear in the rest of the film until the scene where they show up and then they're like, oh, hey, there's the Atom. Oh, guess what? He's dead. There was no stakes to any of the heroes that the guy killed, which was one of the maybe selling points of the film. Is like, oh, finally you get to see a DC movie where they die. And it's like, yeah, but it's probably kind of pointless because you didn't get to know the characters in the context of this world like you did in the video game. I only really know the first game, and I thought that the story in it was brilliant, and I loved the way it even got me to care about characters I don't read or like from DC when I played it, and none of that was there, dude. I didn't even care about Batman in the movie. Like, the only thing that I thought was cool was Dick Grayson is dead, man. I thought that was a neat idea. That was the only thing in the whole movie that was cool, in my opinion.
Well, they actually did, but see, they actually did that right. Because that's what happens in the actual books, where Damian Wayne throws the nunchucks and they hit Dick Grayson violently in the side of the head and it kills him accidentally. That actually happens in the comics. So him becoming Deadman is actually one of the positives of the animated story, which I was surprised with all the stuff that they omitted. I kind of thought they were going to just leave the Dick Grayson thing as it was. I didn't think they were going to even get into the dead man thing. So I was actually shocked. But you know what was funny? They went to all that trouble, guys, to give us Dead Man in the movie, and then they didn't really do nothing with him. I mean, he
took over people's bodies.
He had a small role, but they didn't really. But he didn't have the role that he had in the comics. He didn't live up to that character. Like in the comics, he lives up to the character. Yes. He does specific and awesome things that actually guide the story. Whereas in this movie, he took over Damian Wayne a couple times, but it really wasn't all that climactic. It really didn't add anything. If you ask me, that's one detail, although I give them credit for putting in the movie, that's one detail they could have left out in favor of other things that they left out of the movie. I would have preferred to see some fallout over Flash's death, we got in the comics, that we didn't get here. Double MJ points out Harley Quinn gets no redemption arc in this movie. She just claimed to be a hero. She serves absolutely no purpose in the movie. She's just there for the sake of being there. Yep, I agree 100%. That's 100% true. Again, Harley Quinn, for those who don't know, has a very, very big redemption arc in this movie. In this story, she has a role. Her character has actual growth in the Injustice storyline. Not in this movie, but in the actual Injustice storyline. You actually feel for her character, and you actually see her character grow. You actually see some depth and some actual. They actually put some thought into Harley Quinn as a character, whereas in this movie, it's just kind of throwaway. The only thing that they did was, they kind of kept in a little bit of the comic relief banter between her and Green Arrow, which I thought was a nice touch. I was actually kind of surprised that Green Arrow was in it, considering all the shortcuts that they took in this movie. That's why I say it shocked me that they even put Dead Man in the movie. It shocked me that Green Arrow was even in the movie. It shocked me that they even went as far as they did with the Flash, because they did nothing with the death of the Flash. That's what's making me think that maybe there was like other ideas for this movie. Maybe this movie was supposed to be longer. Maybe this movie was even supposed to be 2 parts. And somebody decided at the last minute, you know what, guys? Cut it down to 1 because we don't want to do 2 parts. Because guys, there was so much potential. It seemed like they were going to do the full, when you see like the way it starts, you kind of get the impression that they're going to do the whole Injustice story, at least like the first arc. They're going to do that. You get that impression, but then they don't do that. They don't follow through. They're taking shortcuts and missteps and cutting this out, cutting that out, forgetting about these characters. There's so many characters they didn't even introduce in Injustice. Where was Shazam?
He was in there briefly in the hall, at the hall, and they showed him briefly, and then that was it. He ain't do nothing.
No, but that's what I mean, Prime. He's got a big story arc in Injustice. He got a big story in Injustice. I know. He's got a big story. Now, I kind of have to wonder because they did kind of use, I believe it was Superman versus the Elites, where they used Superman killing Shazam or Superman debraining Shazam or something. I don't know, but in this movie, they didn't go there. They didn't do anything with the Shazam character. Yeah, they
basically replicated this. They did the Shazam death, but with Green Arrow. Like he melts Green Arrow's face instead of Shazam's. But I thought it was a lot more effective because Shazam's a really strong character, whereas Green Arrow's just a dude. You know what I mean? It kind of took away from the gravitas of the face melting from the video game.
And Power Talk says Plastic Man and Harley was my favorite part. Well, yeah, they tried, and that's why the whole thing with Harley Quinn was I wish, because they gave so much screen time to Harley Quinn for comic relief, they should have just played her arc all the way through. I don't understand why they took shortcuts with her arc. If they knew they were going to use her for comic book relief, they should have just let her be the character she was in Injustice. Show all that. Because think about it, all the shortcuts they made, and here's the thing, that ending, they could have cut that all together. We didn't need that. That tacked on ending that they added that had nothing to do with the actual Injustice storyline. Yep. They could have just cut that out altogether, stopped at the midpoint the first time they captured Superman. They should have stopped it there and said, to be continued, and maybe did another movie. And there's no excuse because they gave us 2 long Halloween movies and they still took liberties with the story, but they still made it a 2-parter. So I don't understand why Injustice doesn't deserve at the very least a 2-parter to get more of the actual story intact.
I don't think tell this to everybody. Be enough, but yeah, it needs more.
I'll say this to everybody. If you're going to read Injustice and you're intrigued to read the book, get DC Infinite, get the app, pay $8 for the month. You can read the whole goddamn story. All the books is on there for free. It's the same thing with Deceased.
Amen.
I'm going to tell people right now, I'm not going to lie to you about no books. If they decide to make a Deceased movie and they messed up Injustice, I don't want them to see. I don't even want them to do Deceased. They going to chop that shit down like it ain't nothing. And Deceased is not rated. That won't be rated R. That would be motherfucking RRRR. So, yeah, Deceased ain't no joke. You talking about a blood fest. Yeah. So, and I ain't gonna even go there. All I can say is, if y'all want to read Injustice for its full entire, go ahead, get DC Infinite. It's $8 a month. It's worth the $8. I'm subscribed to it. Matter of fact, I'm subscribed to it. After this month end, I'm going to fucking pay for the whole year. Because for the simple fact.
Oh, we lost Prime, but I mean I get what he's saying. The Injustice comics are definitely worth reading. Snyder Steppenwolf says Injustice should have been a 5-part movie for the 5 years. I agree, which is why a mini series would have worked better, or a straight up animated TV show. Yeah, so I'm with you, Prime. I agree. I think that would be a great way to read those books if you want to read them legally and you want to have access to all of them and just read the entire story. That's a good way to go. I mean, as a fan of Injustice as a whole, of the franchise, I don't believe this is the last thing that they're going to try with Injustice. I think there's a good chance that we may get an animated series because it's just too expansive of a story to leave it at this movie. Even when they did Superman Doomsday, they knew that was not going to be the last we were going to see of the death of Superman storyline because it's too big of a story for one animated movie. They wanted to do that movie. Maybe the director who wanted to do that movie but didn't know how far he could go. I don't know. I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but I think that there will be more down the line with Injustice, and I certainly hope so, because that movie that they gave us just doesn't do it. I mean, you want people to care about Injustice, especially if it's true that there's rumors that we may get a Injustice 3 video game announcement at Fandom. If that happens, you want something good to represent for people to be excited. You don't want Injustice you don't want people to think that this movie is a good representation of that franchise, because it really isn't, and it's not fair. So I don't know. I'm kind of worried that's but I do think we're going to get more, especially if they're going to do another video game. It just seems like it's a no-brainer. I don't think they're going to do another.
I don't think they're going to do another game. I think after 2, that was it for the games. I think that was it for the game. If they do, great. But I think that was it.
Why do you do
what I was saying
game?
before I got cut off? If y'all want to watch the cutscenes from Injustice, I would tweet out the actual links to those, and y'all can watch out the whole thing. If you want to watch Injustice 2, that's 3 hours long. And if you want to watch the first one, Gods Among Us, I think that's 4 hours, if I'm not mistaken. So they're long.
And Jersey Girl asks a very good question. Hey, what's up, Jersey Girl? Good to see you. Where were the gods?
In the movie, or is she talking about the books? Are you talking about the movie or the books?
I mean, the movie really didn't give us anything. The movie didn't really. The movie just truncated everything.
If you're talking about the movie, there ain't no gods in there. The only gods.
Yeah, they're not gods. They're not gods. And Superman himself is not even, doesn't even act like. I don't know what this Superman was. He didn't really remind me. He didn't really come off as Superman. He kind of, the character he was playing was really, really watered down. Even if it's Superman, I've seen, if you watch animation, even if you watch like the Justice League animated series, I've seen, Justice Lord Superman was more menacing than this guy. This guy was just a guy that was just, I don't know. He was
slightly conflicted.
He had an identity problem. Like, I really didn't know who he was. Like, he didn't come off as Superman. He came off as somebody who at some part in time he was grieving. Other parts he wasn't. And then he wasn't really grieving at all. So a lot of times it felt like he was just being a douchebag to be a douchebag. Other times it just was weird. And Double MJ says, I agree. This was the worst Batman voice actor I've ever heard. They could have gone with Bruce Greenwood or Roger Craig Smith, who are awesome Batman voice actors. They are easily up there with Kevin Conroy. Yeah, I don't understand. This is the thing. If you're going to get a voice actor and I thought it was weird anyway, like Anson Mount as Batman, I thought would be good because Anson Mount's a good actor. I was a little bit worried about Justin Hartley as Superman, but I didn't really. But after watching it, because I really didn't know what they were going for with Superman, I kind of got used to it and didn't really care. We got another super chat here. We got a super chat from Rel McMillan, and Rel McMillan says Rel McMillan is saying here right now, congrats on getting super chats. Thank you, Rel McMillan. I appreciate it. And as of right now, I only have one video to give all our super chat people. You know what that video is, so we're gonna go ahead and add the video back to the stream. This video is perfect, and it actually does fit my channel very well. So we're going to go ahead and add this in here. Thank you so much, everybody.
I never knew this about you, Zod. I never knew you bought subscribers with this video.
Oh, I know. This video convinces everybody, doesn't it? Isn't this great?
I think it's
there
the
we go.
music.
Yeah.
It hooks you.
I got exposed.
Yeah.
I got exposed. Fake. All right, Carlos, thank you so much, man. Thank you for being here tonight. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah. So I got exposed. My channel has shown growth. So I got exposed. I love it. You know
what?
people...
I would have had John O'Mara play Batman because he's my favorite. John O'Mara is my favorite person to play Batman.
I wouldn't have minded. I just don't understand the idea behind all of this. And thank you again, Rel McMillan, for the super chat, dude. You are awesome. Yeah. I'm so excited having gotten exposed, and everybody seems to. Yeah, I got exposed. My channel is growing, so that's fantastic.
Hey,
thank you again,
Rel. Keep it for a reminder. Hey, that's a good thing. Somebody want to hate on you. That's a good thing.
Oh, that's what I love about it. Yeah, I got hate. And it's what's so funny about that, Prime, is that channel wasn't even up for a day. They created that YouTube channel. They called it You Suck, and they created that channel with just that one video on it. That's the only video they had. It was created on October the 7th, and it was taken down the same day for violating YouTube's policies.
Surprised that works. It seems like YouTube only has policies that screw people over, not actually help people.
Well, I was surprised too that it got taken down, but see, I think the thing that worked against it was simply the fact that was the only video it had on the channel, and it was clearly designed to try and slander me. But the funny thing was, there's nothing in the video that slanders me. The only thing that's in the video is it just shows that my channel's growing. That's it.
Yep.
That's the thing. It probably violated the clickbait rule because, like, it has a certain thing that it's saying that you did. But
right. They said in the description that I had bought subs, that I did a video. Well, I did a live stream where I talked about people who bought subscribers, and I talked about them as being, like the lowest form of human life. And I literally blasted anybody that buys subscribers. And so then they were trying to say that I buy subscribers. And I'm in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, as strongly negatively as I feel about people who buy subscribers, you actually think I would do it myself when I'm over here telling you how much I hate these people? That doesn't make any sense. So that by default, that means that I hate myself too. I guess that means I hate myself.
You're just a closeted buyer of subscribers,
Right. And I sat there and I thought about it. I'm like, well, what if I got a fan out there who bought me subscribers? Because I guess it is possible to buy subs. So maybe I have a fan out there who bought me subscribers, and maybe that was one of the reasons why it grew. But if you look at my metrics as a channel, you could see that it was like a 2.5 month process where my subs went out. So it was a pretty realistic progression. It wasn't like it was something that was, out of the ordinary or completely bonkers or bananas. It's not like I went from 3 subs to 1,000 subs overnight. It was.
People don't know how YouTube works. They really don't. They don't know how YouTube.
No, and you being a guy with the actual factuals, you can look at the statistics and you can see the gradual growth. It literally shows a graph with gradual growth. It shows you how it started. It shows where you started, and it just shows that it trickling over weeks. It clearly shows how it happens. But apparently this person thought that they exposed me, and all that ended up happening was their channel got taken down, and I got the video to use for super chats. So I'm excited. That one, Carlos says, would have loved to see more of the lanterns as well. Yellow Lantern Superman killing basically all the Green Lantern Corps.
Yep.
That we never got either. We didn't get that at all.
That's what we're saying. You gotta read the books. If you don't read the books, you ain't gonna get the full thing, because Superman in the books, he is a tyrant. And I like that, but the reason why he does what he does, you're going to feel more for him than a lot of, some people, like I say, they're going, depending on your side. I'm team Superman all the way. But my thing is that, you got to read the books with that, because they didn't,
Sorry.
Green Lantern is in the damn thing, but Green Lantern does his stuff, in the movie a little bit. The main part that he did is that, he protected the League from the bomb. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was his only real moment in that movie, though.
Yeah, he protected everybody.
He helped take down Superman in year 2. It's it's not that Green Lantern, but the other Green Lanterns, they all united, and Superman actually got taken down by the Squirrel Green Lantern, which I loved. Until
that's what I'm saying. You gotta. Yeah, people, you got to read the books, man, because you're going to get so immersed in the book. You ain't going to stop reading that shit. That's how good Injustice is. It's a lot, but you're going to read that shit and just read it. It's absolutely fantastic.
you're gonna love it. I actually would love to see Injustice adapted into an audio drama, like Graphic Audio did for Infinite Crisis. Crisis on Infinite Earths, and they did a lot of really big. They even did 52. They did a lot of big DC storylines, and I would love to see them go back and adapt Injustice now, because that's a great story. Marcus Cruz wants to know, Zod, have you seen the new poster for Masters of the Universe Revelation Part 2? No, I have not. I've not seen the new poster, but I will check it out, and I'm actually looking forward to the second part of that. So I will definitely be watching it. Rel McMillan says, "What's up? I hope you're doing well." And Double MJ says, also, despite Nightwing, Deadwing claiming to be against killing in the movie, he takes over Cyborg's body to shoots the window, thus flooding everyone just so that Terrific and Plastic Man can escape. Yeah. He's essentially a hypocrite. And Snyder Steppenwolf says the Nightwing's death even more retarded. You know what? The Nightwing died like that in the comics, though. That's what happened. He got hit in the head with the nunchucks
by Damien. He got hit in the head. Yep.
And he ended up dying. That was one thing that they did that was actually faithful to the book, which again I don't understand. Why put in these little details here and then take out so much that is so much more important to the story? I'll never understand that. I'm completely confused by all of that stuff. I'm doing good, Rel. Okay. And Katsuka says, yeah, Zod, I had to get you to 1,000. I don't regret anything. Well, there you go. There you go, Katsuka. Man, you guys are great, though. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate finally being at 1,000 subs, finally having a respectable sub count. It's just funny because, again, I do this as a hobby. I do this for fun. I enjoy this. I enjoy being here with all of you. I enjoy these open panel shows very much. And if I didn't enjoy doing them, I wouldn't be doing them. So I think it's great that so many of you like my stuff. And I think it's great that I must be doing something right to have an actual hater that would go that far as to create a YouTube channel to try and expose me. I'll never forget it. I feel like, my God, you actually had to take time to create an actual channel, to create a video. I mean, my God, how can you hate me that much? I come out here and all I talk about is my hobbies and stuff. I don't care. It's like, it's not that serious to me. But
Well,
Yeah, it happens all the time. It
that,
happened
like,
to me.
how great of a detective you have on your case, though, man. Look at those glaring statistics they found, man, that just proved your guilt. I mean, like, that's another thing you need to address is, like, you had, like, a really, really skillful villain on your tail too, man. It should make everybody jealous, man. If you want to have a hater, you should really aim to have one as just badass and, you know, really, really down with the editing skills like Zod had, because that video is just impressive. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised your channel still up, Zod. It didn't convince everybody to just dogpile you until you were gone. That was some.
I love it though. The video just shows growth. That's all it shows. It doesn't show anything.
I want to ask everybody, since I'm on it before I leave, how does everybody feel about Jonathan Kent being bisexual?
That's a good topic.
Oh, okay, so I want to say something, but I want to make sure that no one cuts me off, because it's only going to sound bad if I'm interrupted. But if you let me finish it, it won't be bad.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm making sure this is very clear right now. I don't want to see gay characters on TV or comic books. I want to see characters who are gay, if that makes sense. Like, I want to see someone who's, like, basically I want to see a character who's being gay is not their main personality. Like CW, for example. Like, when CW ever introduces a black character or a gay character or a trans character, that's their main personality. Whereas, like, Zack Snyder, you just see badass characters who happen to be black or Pacific Islander or Israeli. Or I guess that's not Wonder Woman's race, that's Gal Gadot's race, but you get the point. You just see real characters who happen to be those stuff, not boxes being checked off. This just feels like a box being checked off.
Yep.
Well,
what was going to be bad about that, Dan? I mean, like, that was actually very eloquent and very well said, man. Like, I'm waiting to hear what the bad part you were going to say was. Like, I agree.
Well, basically, if I said I didn't want to see a gay character, if you cut me off after that was the bad part. Like, because if that was cut off there, that would sound, you know how the internet goes. Could you pick?
Right. That would make you homophobic. People would start calling you names, and you'd get all kinds of hate.
You would be
canceled. Yeah.
You would be evil than evil Superman in the movie we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think pretty much everybody, if they've been looking at me on Twitter, already know how I feel about this shit. So, I mean, it is what it is. I understand what is going on. For people that don't understand is this, okay? I want y'all to understand. Tom Taylor, he's a gay dude, okay? He's a fantastic writer, but he's a gay dude. I forget the two female lesbians that write the Harley Quinn show, okay? They also did runs on the Harley Quinn. That's why Poison Ivy and Harley is in a relationship, because of them two. That's why they have a.
Well, they're writing what they know. They're writing what
what they know, and they're putting it out there. Now, me personally, I'll say this, because the way it's getting spinned out and the way it's pushing out is that, okay, I understand we're in a new generation. You have to, how should I say, present things that are relatable to these particular individuals. That's fine. It ain't for me. So I would say, me personally, you know, now a lot of people out there thinking that it's Superman that's bisexual. No, they have not really been emphasizing saying that it's his son. It's Jonathan. Okay. But if they read the books, I've been reading the books, that And they put it out there before the 5th book even came out because people was going to leak it out anyway. Because it actually exposed Jonathan being bi in the 2nd book. And I was hoping that it didn't get to that. But they put it out. But me personally, you know, I believe that characters should not be you should not force it upon them and what they're doing.
Right. They shouldn't be, these characters should not be defined by their sexuality. And
Right.
that's the problem. When you do something like this, it comes off as a gimmick because now you're defining Jonathan Kent as a homosexual more than you're defining him as Superman. And
Right.
the problem, and so I agree with Beth Dan. The problem is not that he's bisexual. The problem is that now he's being defined by the fact that he's bisexual.
Yep.
And once you start defining these characters by their sexuality, that's where you make your mistake. I've said this before. It shouldn't matter what the sexuality of the character is. What should be important is the context of the character. You judge somebody by the content of their character, not by what they choose to do in their bedroom. Who Jonathan Kent chooses to be with is none of my business. I don't care one way or the other. So for me, I look at it like if you want to establish that the character is bisexual, it better have some importance to the actual story and not just be bisexual just for the sake of being bisexual and putting it out there to sell more books to that community. That is the problem that I have with it. I don't care if the character is bisexual because again, sexuality is sexuality. It doesn't matter, whatever. But the character needs to be allowed to be the character and not be defined by that trait. Period.
Yeah, exactly. And me, what I said was when I said I was done with it, it's hard for me to be done with the story because it's a fantastic story. I wasn't trying to believe that it wasn't gonna go that way, but Superman Son of Kal-El is a good ass story, man. It just turned me off because now you made Jonathan that. I don't care about his sexuality. Take care of, you know, the world issues that's going on now. Take care of what needs to be taken care of. I don't care about his sexuality, but that's the way how they want to push it. They want to push this narrative out there now, which I disagree with, but hey, to each his own.
So my question is Jonathan Kent's sexuality going to be brought up in every book, or is it just going to be something that is brought up from time to time when it suits the story? Because that's my whole beef with it. I don't want it to be something where every issue there's got to be a situation that involves his sexuality just for the sake of it. That's what I'm worried about. That's what I don't want them to do.
I will say this because I've been reading a lot of tweets. I've been seeing a lot of stuff on, a lot of tweets on the actual article and the interview with Tom Taylor. I've been seeing stuff on Instagram and stuff, and it's just like there's a lot of gay and bi people that are happy about this because now they feel they are, how should I say, they are empowered because now it's Superman. Well, y'all have to feel out this. It's his son. It's not the actual original Superman. It's Jonathan. But I get it. So they feel empowered that now they have a superhero, a powerful one at that, and there is somebody that they can relate to. And don't get me wrong.
Oh, and you know it's going to happen on this Superman and Lois TV show. You know it's going to be incorporated into that too. You're aware, right? Obviously, that's what's going to happen because they're going to want to follow that up in live action because it was such a hit in the comic books.
But are they going to recast him though? Because it's a thing now where you don't want to have straight actors playing out characters of the LGBT community.
Yeah, well, maybe he might get recast.
So that's a concern.
I mean, it is what it is. Hey, the letter people they're happy. That's fine. But at the same time, I would say this. I said I was done with the book, but I can't do that because the book is so good. I just have to be like, you know what? It's not my thing, but my thing is that I don't agree with it being pushed. I get it. You know what I mean? You're trying to get another audience. You're trying to gravitate to a particular audience.
Yeah, there's some people I know doing that. They're making changes for the sake of changes to try and draw another audience to something else. And whenever you do that, the sad thing is that kind of backfires. And this, I think, is going to backfire on the book because, like you're saying, Prime, it's a good story. But now it's the primary, if it becomes the primary focus and it becomes the main thing that they're pushing from book to book, that's when it'll be a problem. Like I said, I don't mind it being implied or it being subtly explored in the book. But I don't really understand. Comic books, particularly comic books like that, don't really focus on romantic relationships between characters anyway. So it doesn't really matter so much. Like for example, let's look at, for example, Superman and Lois Lane. Okay, you want to take that relationship, they get married and whatever, so their relationship is important. But throughout the history of the character, it's not really all that important who Clark was dating when he was single, right? It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Who cares? That's the point I'm trying to make. Why does it matter? Who cares? Like, if you want to imply it and you want to, reference it from time to time, okay, but don't make it a big part of the book unless there's a plot reason, unless it's something important to the plot, unless Jonathan Kent being bisexual needs to be explored for a certain storyline. Otherwise, you've made your point. Now you leave it alone and you don't have to really bring it up anymore. But that's the way I look at it.
But the problem is that with him being bisexual, I can't think of the kid's name with the pink hair. Well, they're going to emphasize their relationship because they want to. Now, what I was told when I read, because with Tom Taylor and what they're doing is they gave that kid powers so that way he can hold his own, so he won't be no damsel in distress where Jonathan got to worry about him. So that's the dynamic that they're doing. So they're going to focus on their relationship, but he got his own powers. So he doesn't have to be a liability on Jonathan, which, okay, I get it. But at the same time, you're taking away. Oh, I don't even know why I'm saying that. I don't agree with the relationship. But if it's a woman, well, they'll probably do it with a woman too. They're trying to take away the damsel in distress thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do.
I like I said, as far as I'm concerned, I won't stop reading the books simply because of things like this. But my issue is that if you start making it where it's it's the most important aspect of the character, that's what I have a problem with. I don't care, again, who Clark Kent or Jonathan Kent decides to be with. That's his business. That's none of my business. If it needs to be referenced for the story, that's cool, but I don't need to be beat over the head with it. It's really nobody's business. Johnny, how do you feel about this?
I don't really have a problem. In my opinion, the younger generations, it's going to be more and more of an accepted just part of society.
Sure.
That people are going to be bisexual. People are going to cater to those lifestyles. And I think having the younger Superman, be a person that, could swing both ways depending on, what fancied him. I got no problem with it because it's just the natural state of things now. And I think some people just need to realize that and get over it, in my opinion.
Right. It's not, like I say, it's not really important. It's not really a big deal unless it becomes the focal point of the story. Dan, how do you feel?
Well, I kind of summed it a little bit earlier, is that here's my thing about, like, again, when you do representation, it needs to be normalized. I feel like if you make it like a focal, I have your concern. Like, if they make it like a focal part of any story, to me, you're almost making it seem like it's not a normal thing. And if you really want to do representation, you want to just normalize it. Just make it not a big deal. That's what it should be.
Right. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal who anybody's with. Whoever you're with is your own personal choice. So why is it a big deal in this comic book? Because it's Superman. To me, I understand why they're doing it, and like Johnny, it's fine to have that representation, perfect, whatever. But at the end of the day, it cannot be the defining trait of the character, and that's what they have a tendency to do now, because they're pushing something. They tend to make it the defining element, and it doesn't need to be.
And I agree with you, but I'm telling you what they're doing. Because a lot of people have been asking this question is that, well, if y'all haven't been reading the comics, y'all know Kal is off Earth. So what they're doing is that with him off Earth, if you read War World now,
yes,
Kal is off of Earth. He's gone. They're trying to make Jonathan the primary Superman on Earth.
Yep.
So that's what they're trying to do. And a lot of people are questioning is that, well, where's Clark at? So I'm gonna tell you where Clark at. Clark is off of Earth. He went to Krypton. I'm not gonna tell you what's going on. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm just telling you what's going on. So my thing is now, how long he gonna be gone? We don't know. I can just tell you this. It's a lot of shit. He might be gone for a while.
Yeah.
So that's why I say
he'll be gone. Prime, let's be real. He'll be gone till people stop buying the Jonathan books. When the Jonathan books start to slip and people are no longer interested in the Jonathan Kent stories that they're going with, then they'll figure out a way to bring Clark back into the fold on Earth. But until that happens, they're going to try to build off of Jonathan Kent and see if they can use this publicity stunt as a way to get more sales, which is essentially, which is fine. I get it. I understand. You got to make your money. You got to appeal to as many demographics as possible if you want people to continue to buy these books. But at the same time, you don't want to alienate your normal readers, and you don't want to make people think, oh my God, this is going to be the sexual adventures of Jonathan Kent every issue. I don't care. I don't want to care. It doesn't matter. Whatever, do you. But at the same time, don't make the character one-dimensional. Don't make the character just completely fixated on that element.
But I would tell you this, because it's Tom Taylor writing it, so I know he's not going to go strictly on that route.
Right.
I know since it's Tom Taylor, I know it's going to be a good writer.
So that's why I say I think the media is making a bigger deal out of this than needs to be, because I think Tom Taylor is a competent enough writer, and he understands that it's all about the story. It's about the story first. All these other little details are secondary elements that you don't need to get beat over the head by any one particular element. You need to tell a story, and that's the bottom line. So for me, if I had to sum it all up, I don't care one way or the other. Doesn't matter.
I would tell y'all this. If you read The Son of Kal-El, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm just gonna give y'all a spoiler. Jonathan about to deal with Lex, and that's all I can tell you. He about to deal with Lex.
Okay.
And it's gonna be some shit. Because for the simple fact is, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna probably happen. Lex gonna find out that Kal is not on Earth. But everything that he did with Kal, he can't manipulate Kal, but what he can do with Jonathan. Because Jonathan is younger. So he's gonna be maybe a little bit more naive to things than it would be his father.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably going to be the angle of what's going on. And now, the only reason now I'm glad that they tied this in, because, see, the Son of Kal-El is Jonathan's journey, but they tied it in with Action Comics. So with them tying it into Action Comics, now you understand the dynamic, because there's a lot of things that Jonathan has called his dad out on. So if you read the books, you can understand it. I like Jonathan. I like him a lot. just this little bump in the road. But other than that, I like Jonathan. I like him a lot.
You've been like talking up this Jonathan Kent character for a long time, Prime. I have to say, I mean, at least particularly when you come on this show, you talk about that character a lot. So I was particularly interested in how you viewed this situation, and it's clear based off of what you've been saying that, you know, we all of us on this panel seem to look at it pretty much the same way, that it's not necessarily, you know, going to define the character. You have this character that's a great character. It's a well-written character. Tom Taylor knows what he's doing. So I don't expect to get beat over the head with this every single issue. I feel like it'll play its part. It'll have parts in there, but it won't be one of those things where every issue I'm getting beat over the head by the romantic episodes of Jonathan Kent and his lovely friends. Yeah, I'm cool with this. You know, right. That's fine.
I hope Tom don't fall in that trap.
Right.
That's the only thing that don't, because people, y'all gotta understand, Tom Taylor is an immaculate writer. That man can write. So that man can write. But my thing is that now, once we get past this obstacle and it died down, okay, I get it. I have to get over it. I had to be a little bit open-minded. Even though I don't like it, I don't care for it, I gotta look past it because I'm into the story. You see what I'm saying? I'm into the story. Because I want to see what's going to happen with Jonathan because his dad is not there. Now he got to deal with Lex Luthor. That's my shit. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting.
It's going to be interesting because he got to deal with Lex. And, he got to deal with Lex.
Off topic, but what did you think about CW's Crisis on Infinite Earths? I thought that they did what they could. I think Crisis on Infinite Earths was too big of a story for TV. It's too big of a story for TV, for CW anyway.
Yeah. Crisis Infinite Earth. That's one of the most biggest DC stories that you can get, man. And to try to cram that into oh no, you can't do that.
You can't really do that. No, you can't do that. And Simon do that. Simon says, hey, Zod and everyone, congrats on the 1K subs. Thank you, Simon. I appreciate that. And that dude Vince says, I thought it was crazy you doubled your viewers in a month. But, man, what a loser to hate on you that much. I'm happy for you. How y'all doing tonight? Pretty good, that dude Vince. Thank you for your continued support, my brother. And
it's not that unheard of, Dan. Vince, that's actually how most YouTube channels.
You know what it is, I've said this a lot behind the scenes. I don't know if I've ever said this publicly, but the thing that a lot of people need to realize about me is my YouTube channel is very, very diverse. I talk about a lot of different topics, not just DC Comics, not just movies. I tend to get into a lot of different things, and I'm very big right now in the home arcade community. The home arcade community is also a place where I've kind of made a lot of friends. I've made a lot of connections, and I attribute my rise in subs to, partly to that, because I've become entrenched in that community as well. I've made a lot of connections over there. So it's all sorts of things. It shows the importance of doing your YouTube channel in a way that can appeal to many, many audiences, not just one specific audience. And, it's been a long road for me, because at first I didn't even want to do YouTube. I was content doing internet radio. I never really had any interest in coming on YouTube and making it this type of thing a thing. And when I got connected with Dawson and all those guys, and we started the Four Nerds together, I was convinced that coming to YouTube was a good decision, and I don't regret it. I think it was one of the best decisions I could have made. I don't know, but Double MJ says in the comic, Nightwing slips and breaks his neck because of Damian. In the animation, he just hits him in the face with a stick and he dies immediately.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you're right about that, Double MJ. But the thing is, the impact from the stick is like what causes his death. But yeah, you're right. He did break his neck, snap his neck in the comic.
Yeah, he snapped his neck.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, me too.
Katsuka says, "All right, you're caught. You caught me, Zod. I made the video. I am your mortal enemy." Okay, Katsuka. I'm still gonna keep you as a mod, Katsuka, because you're a good dude. I don't care. Papa Brad says, "Hi, Katsuka and Koopy Malik." That dude Vince says, "Those two characters growing up, it would have never surprised me to see them be bi." Okay. Well, yeah, no, it's not a surprise.
Damian and Jonathan? Yeah, man. Like, that's a power couple right there. Problem was talking about power couples with Wonder Woman and Superman, man. Batman's kid and Superman. That's another one, man. Like,
no, we lost Prime. I think Prime had to go. Prime had to go.
Scared him away with that one.
Katsuka says, "Hey, Papa Brad's Gaming." Papa Brad's Gaming says, "I'm okay with Harley and Poison Ivy hooking up. Just saying that's hot." Yeah, who's not okay with Ivy and Poison Ivy hooking up, Papa Brad? You're a good dude, man. That's a great comparison. Double MJ says it's no better than taking of the tokenism of the characters. It's freaking virtue signaling. Papa Brad Gaming says kneel before Zod. Checking boxes and pushing buttons for hype. I agree. And that's not necessary. Again, I don't care what Jonathan Kent chooses to do in the privacy of his own bedroom. That's perfectly, acceptable to me. I'm very open-minded to that kind of thing. I don't mind because I feel like everybody has a right to be who they want to be. Whatever. I don't want to be, you don't need to be defined by what you're into sexually. Because think about it. People are into so many different things sexually these days. There's so many different things that get people off that it's not even worth discussing because everybody has their own thing that they're into. So who cares? I don't care. It doesn't concern me. It's really that simple. I mean, DC's marketing isn't helping, but not making the general public realize it's Superman's son, not Clark Kent. Well, yeah, that's the thing.
That's the thing. The headlines say Superman is bisexual. They're not clarifying that.
Right. They're tying it into that. Right. Yeah. They're tying it into that, Johnny. They're trying to make it about Superman, because that's going to get them more. That's going to get them more clicks. That's going to get DC more sales. It's not about whether or not. And if you haven't been reading the comics, you're not going to know. See, Prime is a guy that reads the comics.
If you're not a fan.
You're not a fan. What does it matter? Doesn't really matter. But it is Jonathan Kent. It's the son of Superman. It is not Clark. Clark is still Clark. Papa Brad's Gaming says, yep. Papa Brad's Gaming says, I thought it was Superman. LOL. Belle Reeve says, I'm back. I'm glad you're back, Belle. Great to see you as always. Belle Reeve says, what's up? Belle Reeve is so awesome. And so for all those people, I just want to clarify, for all those people out there, and you know who you are, that are saying that I'm simping for Belle Reeve, you need to shut up. I'm not simping for Belle, okay? I really, really like Belle. I think Belle is an awesome person. She's really cool. And you know what? I will have her back no matter what happens. There's a difference between being somebody's friend and having their back and simping for them. If I was simping for Belle, that implies something else, okay? And I will let you guys know straight away and right now that as much of a fan as I am of Belle and as much as I like Belle, I have respect for Belle. And I'm not thinking of her in the way that you people that say that I'm simping for her are. You guys are the ones that have the problem. You guys are the punks that were simping for Belle at one time, and now you're off on some other channel talking all kinds of crap about Belle because A, you're hanging around someone who feels a certain way, who's actually the ultimate simp. So I just wanted to point that out. Belle will always have a place around me. Belle is awesome. I'm looking forward to collaborating with Belle a lot in the near future. And to be honest with you, she's worth almost all of you people who are saying that I'm simping for her. She's an awesome person. And if I was simping for Belle, which I'm not, I don't see. The thing is, when you're the type of guy that I am,
about it like this: the people that are saying that about you, they're shipping you and Belle, which is grosser than you simping for her. Like, shipping is always going to be grosser than simping. So yeah,
and I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't even. Yeah, it's like if I had anything, I don't have anything but nice things to say about Belle. And my whole thing is if I'm gonna simp for somebody, it's like simping is one of the worst things you could do, because if you're simping for somebody, again, it's implying something. A lot of times when you say somebody is simping for somebody, it's because they are feeling a certain way towards a person that they'll never be able to actualize. So you could say in a way that one person who was causing all those problems was essentially simping in a major way. He was a simp in a major way because he was never going to get anywhere. He's never going to get what he wants. So he was essentially simping. But for me, I'm perfectly happy with my friendship with Belle. I think Belle's an amazing person. I love being around Belle. I don't have any thoughts in terms of things that some of y'all are thinking on the lines that you guys are thinking. That's just not where I am. In my mind, I know the difference, and I understand how to be somebody's friend and to be a loyal friend.
Especially younger males, they don't really understand that men and women can be friends with each other. It's
I know.
a novel concept to some of them. So
it's annoying as hell. It's like, look, I can be friends. I've got a lot of women in my life that I'm very, very good friends with. Okay. So just because you're good friends with a woman and you're a straight male doesn't necessarily mean that you're friends with that person because you want to have a sexual relationship with that person. Let's just be completely honest here. I know how it is. When you're friends with somebody, when you have something in common with somebody and you care about a person as a friend and as a person, and you're not thinking about them in sexual terms, or you're not looking at them as some form of sexual objectification. If you're not looking at it like that and you're looking at them as a friend, you have a better understanding of who you are. You have a better understanding of who that person is. I'm the type of person where I like to have deep friendships, and I like to have friendships that actually mean something. Not a friendship, you have a lot of people where you don't know who they are. You don't know anything about them, and you just have a surface level friendship. But when you really get to know somebody and you get to be their friend, where you actually will have their back and you understand them and you have a lot of common feelings and about where things are going and why things are going a certain way, it's like I can relate, okay, to a lot of situations that Belle has talked about in the past. I'm able to relate to certain things because I've had a lot of experiences in my life. I've had experiences in the past with women. I've had experiences in the past where I've been in relationships that didn't work out. Okay. I've been in a lot of situations. So when you have experiences and you know how those experiences are and you know what to expect from those experiences, you form a common bond with people, and you're able to build off of that common bond and that respect that you have for a person. So don't mistake mutual respect and a deep friendship for simping, because if that's how you're seeing it, you're completely missing the point. And it's like Johnny pointed out, a lot of you younger guys wouldn't be able to tell the difference between a real friendship and simping if it bit you in the butt. You wouldn't be able to tell because you don't know, because you haven't experienced anything. I'm old enough to know the difference between simping and being somebody's friend.
And if you don't know the difference, then you're just a shipper, and you're way grosser than a simp, in my opinion, if you ship, in my opinion. So just shut up.
Yeah. And Belle Reeves says, I feel like it's forced. You're talking about the relationship, the Superman thing. Yeah, it is. It's a gimmick to sell books. But at the end of the day, as long as it's not in your face constantly, I think it'll be fine. I mean, it's not going to stop me from reading the books. I mean, for crying out loud, I've been reading DC Comics since I was 8 years old. Times change, people change, attitudes change. It is what it is. It's like Johnny said, you're trying to appeal to a broader audience. So in a lot of ways, it makes sense in today's world what they're doing. More Harley and Poison Ivy hooking up is fine by me. Papa Brad, forced. And Belle Reeve says facts. Thank you, Belle Reeve. Appreciate that. That dude Vince says Papa Brad's gaming. LOL. Hey, y'all, I'm back. Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn hooking up in the comic. Okay. I agree. Papa Brad's gaming, Poison Ivy, and Harley Quinn. I saw the pics on drama streamers' thumbnails. I thought it was Superman. So you thought it was the real Superman. You thought it was Clark. Now they know they can't do that with Clark. Okay, they knew there was no way they were going to be able to get away with doing it with Clark. Here's the thing: if they made Clark bisexual, they would have a big problem. They'd probably lose a lot of readers. I think that would upset a lot of people. Don't you, Johnny? Considering the history of the character?
Well, it'd make no sense too, them just pulling it out of nowhere now,
Right. Making it Jonathan makes a lot more sense because
he's a brand new character.
Right. He's a brand new character. You're establishing a new arc. You're establishing a different direction. It makes perfect sense that they would go with Jonathan, which is why I'm not opposed to it and don't really have a problem with it in terms of that character, because it's new territory that that they're not. It'd be different if they were trying to force it on a character that we know it wouldn't work. Like we were talking about with Clark Kent. If they were trying to force it on Clark, it wouldn't work because it would make no sense in the context of the character that we've known for all this time. But because they're doing it with a newly created character that they're trying to establish, it makes more sense. So I'll give them that credit for that, for at least doing it with a character that is not established to the degree of Clark Kent. Super porn star swings both ways. LOL. Sorry, y'all. That was my other account. Okay, Snyder Steppenwolf. I get what they are trying to do. Not a fan of it, but it is what it is. LOL. Everybody laughing. Some heroes are gay. Yes, some are. Absolutely. I mean, again, this isn't the first bisexual comic book character, by no means. So
they just made Tim Drake bi as well, like a month ago. Which
did they make Tim Drake bi, or did they make Tim Drake gay?
He's bi too. It would make no sense if all of a sudden he was just like full on gay. Of course they had to make him bi. So it's kind of
right. They had to make him bi because he's had relationships. He's had physical relationships with women in the past. So it would have ruined the history of the character. So they had to make him bisexual. Yeah. Snyder Steppenwolf says, Katsuka, just delete those comments. It was It was my other account. John is cool in my book. It's all about story and the journey they're on. I agree with you, Katsuka. That does not have to define the character. How many accounts do you have? Only 2. LOL. It will just let me hide the user. All right, that's good. Okay, I don't know what you guys are talking about here, but okay. Okay, got it. Papa Brad's Gaming says it was a mess. Katsuka's laughing. And Bat Dan says, before I go to bed, I will say it was CW's Crisis on Infinite Earths focused on fan service more than plot. Good night, everyone. Yeah, I agree. It did. And Papa Brad says, Zod has done the work and then some. Congratulations, Zod. Thank you, Papa Brad. Appreciate that. Papa Brad says, I love Zod. We'll love you too, bro. And facts, Bat Dan, it did. Okay. Yeah, you guys can see how I'm trying to catch up with the chat now. We've had a whole show here, and I'm just trying to catch up. I'm about 10 minutes behind. That dude Vince says, I'm somewhat newer to watching live streams, so just seeing how the game works, the arcade community helping makes a lot of sense. Be diverse, get audiences. Exactly. That's what you have to do. You have to be diverse, and you have to appeal to multiple audiences. And Crystal Reed says, hey, Zod and everyone. Hey, Crystal Reed, good to see you. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate the support. And Snyder Steppenwolf says, hey, Crystal. And that dude Vince says, nah, I was talking about Ivy and Harley. Snyder Steppenwolf says that ZodWriter, just delete those comments from my other account. I meant to be on this account, not the other one, Zod. Okay. Man, I want tacos.
Oh, now you're talking. Fucking Katsuka, damn it.
Everybody wants tacos. Yeah, I want tacos too. What about you, Crystal Reed? You want some tacos? Because I'm definitely in the mood for tacos right now.
It's Taco Tuesday up in the
Taco
ZodWriter
Tuesday.
show.
Yeah, Taco Tuesday. We got to have some tacos. Katsuka says, let's go and make some homemade tacos. Facts. Everybody's talking about tacos now. Yes, this is the time in the show where it's all about tacos. Now I want a very big burger. Okay. And LOL, these kids, you can have female friends and not be simping. People are ridiculous. Yeah, that's what it is. You can't have a female friend because if you have a female friend, you're simping. But no, it's not like that. I'll tell you something. A guy who is confident in his sexuality and someone who, gets laid kind of regularly, can have female friends and have it not be a problem. I don't have to simp for anybody. My belief is that if you're at the point where you're simping for somebody, especially somebody online, you really need to get out a little more. Need to meet somebody, meet some people, make some friends outside of where you live. Put down the headset, log off, get off of YouTube, and go outside, do something. Go meet somebody, but you don't never have to be that way where you're simping. If you're simping for somebody online, there's a problem. It's because it's that's what it is. It's online, and so it's not really not really going to do anything for you. I won't say that it's not real because people can have those emotional attachments, but my thing is you have to know the difference between an emotional attachment and a realistic, relationship that has potential to become a physical one. That's the big difference. I mean, you could be you could be a straight male and have all the female friends online you want to have, And as long as you understand that those people are just your friends and are only going to be your friends, and you only have that emotional connection or that connection through your online, and you're not trying to make it something physical, then you understand and you realize, and that's how it shows the difference between you being an adult and being a simp. The difference. You understand.
That's what I was gonna say, being an adult,
being an adult,
being a grown up. Yeah, dude.
I mean, like I said, I think the world of Bell, but I'm not sitting here saying, oh, well, gee, no, I'm simping because I want this, I think this, and this. No, because that's not what you do. If you're an adult, you have a perspective, you understand things, and you want things to be certain way. You don't have unrealistic expectations for your friendships. And that goes for anybody. When you're online, you have to have an online perspective. And you also have to have a different perspective in real life. You basically deal with real life and you deal with online realistically. And that's how you're able to forge friendships. That's how you're able to discern the difference between a friendship, a relationship, and a simp. So there you go. Katsuka says, ooh, that sounds good too. How about some pizza? No, man, I don't want any more damn pizza. I'm sick and tired of pizza. I want some tacos right now. Crystal Reed, if you're still here, what's up with you? Tacos or what? Snyder Steppenwolf says, guys, let's drop the drama. Okay, y'all. We don't have any drama. We're just talking. There's no drama here. This is a drama-free zone. I'm just trying to explain the difference. I was just trying to explain the difference to people between being a simp and having a realistic view of a friendship. There's a big difference. Katsuka says, oh my God, that sounds good too. I'm so hungry. I love both sides. Can we drop the drama, y'all? And Katsuka says, what's a simp? An obsessed person? Well, yeah, a simp is someone who believes that for example, you can apply the word simp to somebody online. Particularly, you could say like a straight male that has strong feelings for a female online and believes that relationship has potential to become physical or become real. So they continually obsess over that person, and they're always putting themselves in situations where they can constantly interact with that person, and they're going overboard with compliments and BS. That's essentially what simping is at that point. But yeah, Katsuka says, "Ooh, sometimes ignorance is bliss. Both parties were at fault, Zod." What are we talking about here, Snyder Steppenwolf? I'm not talking about any particular argument. I'm speaking in regards to people that
attacking Zod.
Yeah. People attacking me, saying that I'm simping for Bell because I'm friends with Bell. Okay, that's all I was talking about. I'm not talking about any of the drama that was going on or anything else. I'm talking about myself, specifically referencing me, defending myself, because people are saying that I'm allegedly a simp. So if I'm simping, if they're going to say that I'm simping, I have a right to defend myself. Okay, just because I'm a friend to somebody, just because I empathize with somebody, just because I care about somebody doesn't make me a simp. All right, so that's what this is about. And if you're missing that point and equating it to someone else or to something else, I have to correct you on that, because that's not what's happening here. There is no drama going on here. There's nobody taking any sides one way or the other about something or someone or whatever. It's just me defending me at this point. So please try to understand that, and don't look at it from the perspective of both parties, because I'm not talking about anyone but
Unless
me.
you're friends with the people that are attacking Zod and saying this shit about him, then are you asking them to stop too?
Right. That's a question that I have to ask Snyder Steppenwolf. Do you think that I'm a simp because I'm friends with Belle Reeve? Does that make me a simp? Because I empathize and have a friendship with this person? Does that mean that I'm because I believe certain things that's the side I'm on? Yeah, you should answer Johnny's question there. I really do want to know. Is that what you believe? Because I mean, you're making this about something else. I mean, I'm not. I'm making this specifically about me and how I feel about people. And I think I've made that very, very clear in like the 15-minute diatribe that I've been on. Snyder Steppenwolf, I dig pizza too, but no pineapple topping though. How about fried chicken and fries? Those are blessed. Let's see here. Hey, what's going on, Jesse Allen? # release the air cut. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Always a pleasure to see you in the chat, Jesse. I hope that we are on the cusp of getting David Ayer's cut of Suicide Squad. I really do. And like I said, it's always a pleasure to see you in the chat, bro. Katsuka, yeah, no pineapple. What's up, Jesse? LOL, Katsuka. Sharma pizza, best pizza. What's Sharma pizza? Johnny, do you know what that is?
I've had it as a sandwich. It's kind of like a deviled egg thing that I couldn't imagine it on pizza. It sounds terrible, but if Vince says it's good, I'm happy you like it, dog. But I don't think I'm gonna try it. I'll stick with it on a sandwich. It's good as a sandwich.
Okay.
Shawarma's pretty good. You seen which Avengers movie was it where they're all talking about going and eating fucking shawarma? Oh, there I go again. I'm sorry, Zod.
Wasn't that Avengers? Wasn't that the first movie? The end of the first movie?
Yeah, I think so. Where they're all talking about going and eating shawarma. Yeah, after Tony Stark comes back to life.
It's been a long time since I watched those original Avengers movies. So, but yeah, I think it is. And Jesse Allen is saying hi to Snyder Steppenwolf. Snyder Steppenwolf says, "Yeah, but both parties effed up. No one is innocent in this." No, but again, you're missing the point, Snyder. I'm not talking about them. I'm innocent in this. Okay, I'm a friend because Belle Reeve is my friend. I'm being called a simp. I'm not. That's the only thing, the only argument that I'm having here. I'm not commenting on,
whatever the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, whatever happened there. That issue, as far as I'm concerned, has been resolved. I'm not involved in that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people's perception and name calling of myself personally because of my friendship. That's all I'm saying. I'm not getting involved, and I'm not getting into the weeds about that. Have you heard me mention anybody specifically? Have I mentioned any instance, any inference of any drama between people? No, I haven't, and I'm not going to. What I'm saying here is just specifically germane to me personally as an individual. Okay, that's what you need. That's what you're not understanding. Okay, you're painting this with this broad brush because there's a camp that has divided things into two sides. That's completely unnecessary. Okay, the only two sides, and the only argument that I will make in regards to that argument that you keep bringing up, the two parties, the only reason why there's two parties is because one party won't stop talking about it, and the other party is trying to move on. That's the reason why there's two parties, okay? If you want people to not talk about it, if you want it to stop being brought up, and you want then people need to stop labeling specific individuals who are friends with person A, B, C, D, or E. All right? I don't know what F, G, and H are doing. All right? But A, B, C, D, and E doesn't have to have anything to do with it. And if people really want it to stop and people really don't want it to be brought up anymore, then they need to move on and they need to stop talking about it. And they need to stop talking about people who are on one side or the other, because everybody has an opinion. Opinions are like a-holes. Everybody has one. So if you're on one side or you're on the other side or you kind of skirt the middle, then everybody needs to do is just move on. And you're exactly right about that. People need to move on and drop the drama. So I don't know, Steppenwolf, maybe tell the people that are saying I'm a simp that they're incorrect, because I'm not simping for anybody. I think the whole thing is ridiculous. And yes, people need to stop talking about it. But make no mistake, the stuff I was talking about was what was impacting me directly as an individual and nobody else. So there you go. LOL, hey Iffy. Gosh, those meals are making me so hungry right now. Yeah, everybody's still talking about food. Yes. Yo, Jesse. BVS, more like burger versus shawarma. Dawn of never mind. Okay. And Snyder Steppenwolf says, I got to head out, y'all. It's my bedtime, and I got school tomorrow. Take care, y'all. All right, take care, Snyder Steppenwolf. Tim was into Stephanie Brown. Yeah, that's what I was mentioning earlier. Later, Steppenwolf. Let's see. Marcus Cruz says, Zod, in my opinion, I think the person in his group of friends think of you as a close friend, and the words you said on Bell's stream kind of felt harsh to them, and they felt betrayed. Listen, Marcus, and I'm only going to say this once, all right? But I'm an adult, all right? And I see things a certain way, all right? I believe in right and wrong. I've seen both sides of the story. I know what one side was doing. I know what the other side was doing. All right. I made my statement based on how I felt. Okay. I didn't call anybody out. I didn't talk about anybody. I never mentioned any of those people. I never mentioned anybody's name. I'm not saying nothing about nobody. I've stayed out of it. The fact that I have a friendship and I have an opinion doesn't give anybody the right to judge me. All right. Everybody has an opinion. And just because I have the balls to say what I feel, just because I have the balls to stand up for what I believe is right, doesn't mean anybody should be offended by what I'm saying. Because like I've said before, Marcus, anything that anybody says has the eventuality of offending somebody else. So if I offended somebody because I said how I felt, I'm not going to apologize for it. Those are just my feelings. Those are just how I feel. Everybody has a right to feel how they feel. And like I said, it's okay to disagree, but it's not okay to disrespect. So let's just put it this way, Marcus. I disagree with those people. All right? That doesn't mean that I hate them. It doesn't mean that I wish them dead. It doesn't mean that I'm negatively going to talk about them every show. It just means that I disagree with them. It's okay to disagree with people. And if people can't see that, and people are going to be juvenile and are going to be attacking me because I believe one thing versus another, that says more about them than it does about me. So that's it. That's all I'll say about this particular topic. All right. I feel the way that I do, and that's fine. Other people are allowed to feel how they do. It is what it is. But that in no way means that I'm trying to disrespect somebody else. And I'm not going to come out and start attacking other people who disagree with me. It's fine. It's okay. You can disagree. You can feel differently. but I'm not going to be over here, going to go against what I believe just because somebody else who I happen to have liked thinks of things in a different way. We all believe what we believe. So on that, we'll just agree to disagree. Oh, that dude Vince says that guy left a bit ago, apparently had school. Yes. Travis says, hey, Zod, to be fair, you don't know the whole story. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Maybe you should hit up the person and stop talking behind that person's back.
Did the guy come up to Zod's face and call him a simp to his face? Because it kind of sounds like they were talking behind his back first. But whatever, dude, you do you. That sounds about
yeah. I'm not understanding where you're going with this, Travis. I do know the whole story. Okay, I've heard both sides of the story, and again, it has nothing to do with me. All right. I know both sides of the story. I've heard both sides of the story, and I feel the way that I do. The fact that you feel the way that you do is your right. You can feel the way you do. I'm not telling you not to feel the way you do. I'm not telling you who to be friends with and who not to be friends with. There's nothing I hate more in the world than people who tell you it's okay to be friends with these people over here, but don't be friends with these people over here. I'm going to tell you the truth. At no point has anybody ever told me who to be friends with and who not to be friends with. I'm an adult. I can make those decisions on my own. And Travis, I don't know you, but you obviously don't know me, and you don't know who I know, and you don't know what I know. So I would appreciate you maybe talking to me behind the scenes, or perhaps doing a little bit of your own research before you come on here and tell me that I don't know both sides of the story. Because believe me, I know both sides of the story. So we're just going to leave it at that. Again, I did not want this to come up in my stream. All I addressed was people calling me a simp behind my back. I wasn't there to defend myself. So when people are calling me a simp and people are attacking me just because I'm friends with somebody that you're apparently not friends with, I think that that's wrong. I think that that's wrong. I'm not telling anybody who to be friends with and who not to be friends with. All right, so keep that in mind. When I come on here and I do my live streams, I'm not about drama, and I'm not trying to have drama with people, and I'm not trying to even discuss drama. Travis, and Snyder Steppenwolf are the ones who brought this up. So I addressed it. So now I'd like to move on from it because, again, it doesn't concern me. The only thing that concerned me was me being attacked for my friendship with somebody else. That's the only thing that I was talking about. Again, Travis, I'm going to move on from that because I don't want to talk about that anymore. I'm done. It doesn't concern me. Okay. I have no interest in it at all. So please don't bring it up anymore. I'm okay as long as people leave my name out of their mouth. Just don't bring me up anymore because I'm not gravitating towards one side or the other, and I'm not getting involved in the argument. I said how I felt about it, and I'm done. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Zab, but the things you said, okay, Marcus, yeah, enough is enough. I'm done. I'm not talking about it anymore. Corey says, keep doing you, Zod. Respect. Thank you, Corey. I appreciate you, bro. Let's see here. We have Jesse Allen saying this is the problem within the fandom. Everyone has their own connections and opinions and should not be disrespecting others based off of their own opinions. I agree with you, Jesse Allen, 100%. What you are saying is 100% true. Like what you like who you like, and just let everybody else be. Whatever they want to do, whatever they like is fine. Again, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. People are calling me out, and I didn't even say anything about anybody. All I said was how I felt about a particular situation, and I'm done with it. I haven't said another word about it since then. I'm good. It is what it is. I've moved on already. So the fact that people are still bringing it up means that it means more to them than it does to me. That's all I can say. But I agree with you, Jesse. Exactly, Zod. It's freedom of speech. People are free to disagree on something. Yeah, you can disagree with me. If you believe one way and you believe something else, that's perfectly fine. I have a lot of friends in my life who I disagree with on a regular basis. You're not going to like it. Yeah, well, I was just going to say, me and Johnny have disagreed thousands and thousands of times throughout our friendship. We've known each other for many, many years. It doesn't, just because we disagree doesn't mean that I don't like him or hate his guts or don't want to associate with him anymore. That's the problem with a lot of you young guys nowadays. You take everything so definitively. If somebody doesn't agree with one thing that you believe in, you all of a sudden hate them and make them the enemy. You got this absolutism that you follow. Like, it's not okay that Zod disagrees and that he believes one thing. If he doesn't believe in my way of thinking, then I just cut him off altogether and talk about him because he's just a simp, right? That's the problem with you guys. You don't see things through. You're not thinking clearly like an adult. You're not realizing, well, just because he has a difference of opinion doesn't make him a bad guy. It's just the way that he sees A, B, C, or D. I mean, if you can't have a disagreement and you can't see the differences between somebody disagreeing with you and somebody who's your enemy, you're going to have a problem later on in life as you grow older. Because you can't go through life dismissing people based off of one thing that you disagree with. That's like the biggest problem with society today. And I'm noticing it in particularly with a lot of younger people, Johnny. A lot of young people have this mentality. Well, he disagrees with me about this, so to hell with him. Well, no, that's not how it is. That's not what life is about. Just because I disagree on one topic or I disagree about a specific person doesn't mean that, I can't be friends. Doesn't mean I don't still agree with you about a million other things. It's crazy to me.
Right.
I don't know what to say. It's very, very frustrating. Jesse Allen says, well said, Zod. Thank you, Jesse. I knew you were a smart man. You understand exactly what I'm talking about. If he says I kind of agree. Okay. My man Zod keeps saying it as it is. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm here for. If you guys don't like what I got to say, then you don't have to listen to me. I'm not forcing you to see my point of view. I'm just telling you what my point of view is. I believe in giving everybody respect. I may not agree with certain people, but I believe that everybody deserves respect. I believe that everybody deserves a chance to speak their piece and say what they believe. And that's perfectly fine. This is why I get into disagreements with certain people that I like all the time, because they get upset about something that somebody comes on my stream and says, and then I got to deal with it in DMs, and I got to go back and forth with this person about what people said on my stream. Because
in the chat of your stream, you don't even have any control over.
Right. In the chat of my stream, I'm not bringing these people on my panel and they're saying all kinds of stuff about this one particular individual. No, they're saying stuff in the stream by themselves, and then I'm having to deal with it in DMs later on because this person doesn't understand. He thinks that I'm perpetuating it, and all I'm doing is reading people's comments. You see the point that I'm coming through to here? I give everybody a chance. I give everybody a platform. Even the people that were talking crap about me just a few moments ago that were saying that, I'm not seeing both sides or whatever. Listen, man, you guys can come in here. You guys are welcome to say what you think. I'm not holding it against you, but I feel like I've seen enough of said situation to know what's going on and to have made up my own mind as to what I believe and what I don't believe. And that's something everybody individually has to do from themselves. You judge a situation based on what happens individually. If you don't agree with something, what people who disagree about things often do, or what they used to do before this absolutism society started that we live in, they used to talk about things. They used to try to come to the root of why they disagree. And if they couldn't come to an agreement or come to a fair, assessment of why they disagree, if they're friends and they care about each other, they just agree to disagree and move on with their lives. And that's what a lot of you folks don't do these days. You don't agree to disagree. You don't let things go. You just keep going and going and going and keep bringing the same stuff up day in, day out. You don't have any ability to let things go, but then you blame the other people for constantly bringing stuff up. That's the new thing nowadays. And it's just ridiculous.
And it's so weird to do with somebody like you because you're so understanding and easy to talk to. True story, when me and Zod met, this was back in the early, like the Wild West days of YouTube. We're talking 2013. We met on opposite sides of a troll war. I mean, we were throwing insults at each other, and we're talking about dirty, bad, nasty, terrible, horrible ones. And then one day we just stopped and started fucking talking to each other. And we became friends. We started doing shows together, and we're a decade plus now being buddies doing this stuff together. So like, if you stop and actually like talk to these people, I'm pretty sure we could be great friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what
But the thing
that's the
they
thing.
don't seem to really want to talk either. They want to hurl insults from their little stream, but not be allowed to let Zod do it back, because that's mean. You don't know what you're talking about, Zod. They called you an insult, but that or simp, whatever. But that's different because they did it on their stream, and it's because you didn't understand them. And it's like, well, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, have them show up on here. Like the link is in the description. They can hop on and talk to us for all I care.
Well, that's what I always do. That's why that's why I always do open panel live streams like this, to give people a chance. The same people that tell me over and over again, well, I didn't have a chance to defend myself. I wasn't there. You could have, though. It was open panel. If you wanted to come on and say something, you're more than welcome to come on and talk. I give everybody the chance.
You worried about people getting shit talked about behind their backs? There's a link in the description. They could have showed up and talked to us.
Right. If it's really that much of an issue, if it's really that much of an issue, you could jump on. I'm not stopping you from jumping on and saying your piece. That's the thing I've never been able to understand. Like, look, I have said time and time again that when you disagree, it's okay, as long as you don't disrespect. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. When I say how I feel about a particular situation, I'll say how I feel. And after I say how I feel, I don't care what you think about how I feel, because those are my feelings. If you have a problem with my feelings, that's a personal problem, because those are my feelings. That has nothing to do with you. You can feel how you want to feel about something, and I'll never stop allowing people to say how they feel about something. It has nothing, because it has nothing to do with me. How you feel is how you feel. But that doesn't make me wrong any more than it makes you right. It just is what it is. And people need to start understanding that. And Marcus Cruz says, so Zod, is it bad that I simp for Setsuki and Millie?
No. For famous and make-believe people, there's nothing else you could really do as a human being. It's going to happen. Like I said, my Winona Ryder story. And like, I'm pretty sure you treat your body pillow of Satsuki fine, Marcus. So I wouldn't really call it simping, as long as you continue to keep that body pillow. You treat it with the respect it deserves. You're not a simp. You're a good man. You're rocking it, brother.
And Katsuka says, I have absolutely no clue, all right, as to what is going on, and I'm glad. Well, you know what?
Called odd names. We said that they shouldn't, because it's wrong. It's not actual factual.
All I did was break it down. Yeah.
And somehow that got linked into another conversation that isn't actually germane to what we were saying. We were just talking about one situation, not the great situation. But same to you. I don't really know what the big drama is, but whatever. Nobody disrespects Zod and calls him shit like that because he's not. He's probably one of the coolest people I know, and he's also known as the broker of peace. So if people really wanted to come and talk to him, this shit would get sorted out without drama, to tell you the truth. Unless the other people were just dead set on having
That's
it.
absolutely
Because
true.
Zod can talk to anybody and just be a gentleman about it. You should see some of the letters he writes to people that cuss at him and stuff. He is so hilarious the way he kind of just burns people down with their own hatred towards him. So yeah, it's really weird that they're attacking him this way because like yeah, I would really like to see how it plays out though. I don't know what's going on either though, Katsuka. So just support Zod. That's all I got to say. He knows what's right.
And Marcus Cruz says this whole thing started because of the left and right. Those two sides negatively impacted society. Same here. I couldn't care less either. People online are always trying to make drama like they are in high school. Well, yeah, because here's the thing. It's sort of like the drama that you see in high school, the cliques and stuff. It's like people are nostalgic for those things, just like they're nostalgic for anything else. So I feel like it's more that than anything else. And Katsuka brings up a very nice quote here from George Costanza. We live in a society, and it's why I like your streams. You always keep it real. No time for this petty, unnecessary drama. No, I try to nip the drama in the bud as soon as it comes because I don't really feel like it's necessary. And again, if anybody has an issue with me, every Tuesday on the ZodWriter show, I do open panel discussions, which means the link is in the description if you want to hop on and say what you want to say. I don't understand it. I love these people. They send me DMs and they want to cuss me out in my DMs because of things that people have said on my in the chat on my streams, but they never actually come to the streams and just say what's on their mind. Just come to the stream, jump on and say what you have to say if you have something that needs to be expressed. I'll never understand it myself because personally, I have no problem talking to somebody, and I welcome people who have differing opinions of mine. You have a difference of opinion, you have something you want to say, and you want to talk about it, we can talk about it. I don't hate people, and I don't hold things against them. If you want to talk, I'm here to talk. That's perfectly fine. Listen, man, I got to tell you right now, dude, I don't understand what all this is about, bro. All I know is people are calling me names. People have been calling me simps. People have been attacking me because I happen to be friends with somebody. That's all that it is. And dude, I don't know why you're getting a ton of messages. I don't have any. I haven't been saying anything. This is the thing that I don't understand, okay? I'm not attacking people for having a difference of opinion. I'm not attacking people for having a different viewpoint. You can have a different view. You could see things differently, okay? And I may disagree about certain things. We can all disagree about things. But my thing is, there's no reason to be disrespectful. Now, am I right or am I wrong? If I'm wrong, let me know. If you think I'm wrong, if I'm wrong, come on here and say what you got to say. Because I don't understand this. Like I said, I give everybody a chance to say their piece. All right? Say your piece. If you got something to say, you have my blessing to come on and say it. I've been very, very kind to people. I give everybody an opportunity to say their piece. Y'all get your opportunity. Y'all get your platform. I've been nothing but kind to everybody. And I don't understand why I get put in the middle of things just because I have a viewpoint and I'm sticking to my viewpoint, man. I don't understand it. Oh, it's ridiculous to me. Oh, God, these people.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
So
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I'm just so tired of this kind of stuff. I'm so tired of dramatic stuff. I stay out of all this stuff for very, very good reason, man. You know, I don't tell anybody who to be friends with. I don't tell anybody who not to be friends with. And that's just the reality of it. You know, be friends, don't be friends, keep me out of it. I don't want to hear about it anymore. And that's basically it. You know, it is what it is. You know what I don't know. I don't get it. But yeah, there's the link. Anybody that wants to jump on, you literally you got a couple more minutes because I'm about to end this in a few more minutes because I'm running out of things to talk about tonight. And that's why people keep deflecting to this other stuff because we're running out of. We were on a good topic. We were talking about a lot of different things, and yeah, so that's where it is.
Papa Brad's got a pretty funny comment if you want to roll up and kind of talk about that and the recap. Superman is gay, but it's not Superman. Harley and Poison Ivy hooked up. It's hot. Some kind of drama. I don't know. Like the whole thing about Harley and Poison Ivy, they've been actually playing with that for years. Like I remember when I was a huge fan of the comic Gotham City Sirens, and like that was a big part of that book. Of course, they didn't. It was just alluded to. It was very clever, tongue-in-cheek metaphor type stuff. But you know, the fact that they're actually like a couple now, it's just something that they've been playing around with for days, and it's good to see it come to fruition. I mean, who doesn't like blondes and redheads, right?
I agree. All right.
They're doing another Home Alone.
All right, we're being joined right now by none other than the Truth. What's up?
Hello, gentlemen. How's everybody doing?
You know, I'm doing great, man. I've been feeling really good, actually, to tell you the truth. I've been having a pretty great day. I'm liking, you know, my channel's growing. I mean, I've been having some pretty great DC topics and stuff, but all
Congrats
of a sudden,
on the 1K, by the way.
Thank you. For some reason, there's all kinds of stuff popping off. People are talking crap in the chat. Allegedly, I was called a simp because I have a viewpoint on a certain topic, and now all of a sudden it's an issue, and I don't know why it's an issue. But you know, I'm glad you decided to come on, man. What's been going on with you?
I don't know. I was just, home, relaxing, and then my fucking Instagram is blowing up from people. It's like, hey, Zod's talking shit about you. I'm just like, oh, God. I was like, okay, like, what happened now? So I'm watching. So I just came on the stream. So I was like, wondering, like, okay, so let's just, clearly here, we're big boys. Am I right? So if there's an issue that you have with me, I would like to clear it. We could talk about it. No arguments whatsoever. So what's the issue?
Your guess is as good as your guess is as good as mine, man. Somebody said I was a simp because I'm friends with a mutual of ours who I met through you, by the way. I just want to point that out. I met this person through you. So it makes no sense that I'm being called names and being put in this box because I still have a friendship with this person. It makes no sense. Calling you a simp? I don't know. It was people in one of your streams. I don't know who it was, but you were getting DMs just now. I was getting DMs, so that's why I brought it. That's why I brought it up. I was trying to clarify to some people in the chat. These people were saying that I am seeing things the wrong way, or I'm not seeing clearly, or I don't know both sides of the story just because of my viewpoint. And all I said was that this person is my friend and I'm not simping for this person. I understand the difference between having a friendship with somebody and being a simp towards somebody. So that was the only point I was making. And you can go back and watch the stream and you can see it. Okay. And at no point did I mention you or did I mention anyone else? So I'm not understanding, what any of this is about. And like I said, I tend to keep to myself. I tend to stay out of drama. I do my channel, and my channel's a very diverse channel. I don't really care about dramas that people have that take place offline and have nothing to do with the stuff that I'm talking about. So as you can probably imagine, this is really, one of those things where when people don't understand a person's point of view or don't understand where a person is coming from, it's like I said, man, it's okay to disagree, but it's not okay to disrespect. I may disagree with certain people and the way certain people are acting and the way certain people are handling things. But just because I disagree with somebody doesn't mean that I hate them, doesn't mean that I'm talking shit about them, doesn't mean that I'm trying to go to war with them online. It just means that I have a difference of opinion, and that's perfectly fine. So I guess for me, that's what it's all about.
Gotcha. I think that's the problem, right? Where both sides are constantly, battling with one another, right? Emotions are high. I get it. People want to choose sides. That's perfectly understandable. But I think people just need to, look at both sides, have a conversation. And if there's any problem, I say this all the time. If anyone has any problem with me, my DMs are open. If you want to come on my stream, if you want to, invite me to your stream, I'm more than welcome to do so. So, I think, at the time there was, obviously people are going to talk shit no matter what, right? Like that's just human nature. People are going to take sides. People are like, oh, fuck this dude and fuck that dude. I'll fuck him, fuck her, all that bullshit, right? So at the end of the day, people just need to just have a conversation, right? Look at both sides. And if you want to choose a side, you're more than welcome to do so. I'm not going to stop you. But conversations need to be had, right? So like I said, if anyone has a problem with me, like I said, my Twitter DMs are open. My Instagram DMs are open, clearly. So you could just talk to me. But if you want to or if you want to bash me on your stream, you could do that. That's fine. I think it would be more.
Well, I don't. But see, but the thing is, Truth 31. I don't bash people on my streams.
No. I never said you.
All right, and that's number one, first and foremost.
Yeah.
Unless I have a personal issue with someone, I'm not. It's not my business to call somebody out if I don't have a personal issue with them. Gotcha. Now, again. I'm not, and that's why I'm not understanding why people are blowing up your DMs saying that I'm talking shit about you when I haven't said one word about you this entire time. Mm-hmm. That's the part that I'm not understanding. What, Johnny, have I said anything about this individual? Have I mentioned him at all throughout this entire show that we've done tonight?
Nah, we were talking about, I don't even know the situation. All I know is somebody was calling my boy a simp. And I was saying that, like, if you're putting him together with the character just because it makes sense in your head canon, that makes you a shipper. And that makes you grosser than a simp. And that's basically all we were saying before some other character starts coming in with, oh, you don't know both sides of the story. And you could ask most of the chat. A lot of other people like Katsuka and stuff, we don't know what the hell's between you two. But all I know is I still don't know what's between the two of you. And you weren't mentioned. We just talked shit about some guy that was calling Zod a simp.
Right.
Story.
Right. And I was addressing specifically an individual who was calling me a simp. So I basically broke down what the definition is of a simp in relation to somebody who just happens to be a straight male and has a female friend. That was the whole thing we were talking about, Truth. So I don't understand where you fall into any of this other than I think it was somebody calling me a simp on from one of your streams. I don't know. But all I'm saying is as far as everything else goes, you and I have never had any when we've had any conversations, and you've even been on my streams before, and I've been on several of your streams, any conversations that you and I have always been fine. So anybody trying to make it seem like there's some sort of issue between me and you just need to get the hell out of here, because there is no issue. Okay. I'm going to be friends with who I want to be friends with, regardless of anybody's personal issues or personal situations. So that's the reality. So I want to make that clear. So just because I'm a friend, I might be friends with somebody that you're not friends with, or you're friends with somebody that I'm not friends with, doesn't have any bearing on whether or not I'm going to be, cordial or friendly towards you. And that's the only point that I'm trying to make here. I don't even know why you came up in the conversation at all, or how you came up. I don't know where these people are getting their information from. And I wish that somebody could go back and could find the section in the video where I specifically mentioned the Truth 31, because at no point did I say you, or did I even allude to you. All I did was try to define what it means for somebody to be a simp versus somebody having a female friend. So I think a lot of people are way too wound up and are trying to find issues,
trying to create a drama
trying to create drama where it doesn't exist. Yeah, and I don't understand. I don't understand where that comes from, because as far as I'm concerned, I stay out of dramas. I don't have any issue with people, and I try to keep to myself. My friends are my friends. People I choose to associate with, that's my business. Just like who you choose to associate with is your business. So anybody that wants to come out here and wants to call me a simp, truth, this is why I do open panels every Tuesday night, because I give people a chance to come on. The other times during the week, I do, one-on-ones with people and things like that. But this particular day, Tuesday nights, I always do open panel, because I want to give people a chance to come on and say their piece, whether they agree with the topic or they hate my guts or whatever. They can come on and they can say their piece. Even if you were mad at me or you had an issue with me, you could come on here and tell me whatever that issue was. I wasn't going to hold it against you, because I give everybody a chance to say what they have to say. So I don't don't understand what my involvement is, other than the fact that I am friends with somebody that at this current time you are not. So maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Probably. Because I think it was because the whole drama was broadcasted all over the internet. Like it was basically a Saved by the Bell drama, and it was unfortunate that it was leaked to the public, but it is what it is. But I think you're right. I think people just wanted drama, because I was like, wait a minute, is Zod talking shit? I was like, no, I wouldn't talk shit. Because listen, if I had a problem with Zod, I wouldn't like invite him to a stream. I'll hit him up on a DM. It's like, hey Zod, let's talk about it. Like, what's the issue with me? Like, can we work this out? If we can, great. If we can't, okay. Then bygones be bygones, right? So I'll just leave it at that. But I was like, no, I was like, oh great. I was like, is there more drama on YouTube? I was like, oh great. But I was like, okay, so now that you cleared the air, and I was like, okay, cool. So just one last time, we're cool, right? Is there any drama? If there is, let me know right now.
I don't. There's no drama as far as I can tell. I'm not. I don't know. I just feel like there's people that want there to be, but at this point there isn't. So I'm not. At least not me personally. And one of the things I've come to understand is that, like you said, if you had a problem with me, you would send me a DM, or if I had a problem with you, I would send you a DM, because that's what normal people do.
Absolutely.
All right. I don't, again, my live streams, I don't believe in doing a live stream to trash somebody else. It's like when you do your streams and you talk about certain groups and certain types of people that, bother you, or certain things that people do that bother you. Right. Yeah. You might go on and you might say, but you say every time before you do it, you say, I'm sure they're lovely people in real life or whatever, but I have a problem with this, this, and this. And you talk about what it is that you don't like. You call people out for things that you feel they need to be called out for, which is what you've always done. And again, my thing is when you have issues and you have, in the heat of the moment in a situation, if you're upset about something, you'll voice your opinion, how you feel about it. But at the end of the day, if you're anything like me, once you've said your piece on an issue, you kind of disassociate yourself with the issue. And it's not something that you want to keep bringing up and you want to keep talking about over and over again. So like I said, as far as I'm concerned, I've pretty much, I've said my whole piece about the whole simp thing. I know people don't like it when other people take sides or
that's human nature.
But that's what it is.
Regardless.
Right.
Yeah,
people are going to take sides no matter what happens. And you know what?
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm going to be friends with who I choose to be friends with. You're going to be friends with who you choose to be friends with. And these people are going to be friends with who they choose to be friends with. I don't feel like we have to be disrespectful. I feel like people can just agree to disagree and can move on, because at the end of the day, there's more stuff that we're going to agree on than we're going to disagree on. And that's what I've come to realize when it comes to these kinds of petty little dramas.
I agree. YouTube drama, unnecessary.
Right.
But yeah, but that's all I wanted to say, because I was like, okay, I'm glad that we cleared the air. Everything's all good. Everything's all fine. So there's no drama, people. Okay. Hope you enjoy the show. But Zod, thank you for giving me the link. It was awesome.
No problem.
We had a conversation. Stu Ball, nice to meet you. Hope you have a great night. Everybody in the chat, you guys are awesome. You guys are amazing. Thank you for all the support and love. And you gentlemen have a good night. Okay.
All right. Later. Yeah. All right. So I hope that satisfies people like Travis and Snyder Steppenwolf
that completely unnecessary. Yeah, that completely unnecessary thing. Like that man did not even need to be bothered. We were talking about shit-talking little stands that are throwing names at my boy. Like I don't even know what that even was about. The situation isn't even any clearer now. So I'm glad he was involved. But whatever. There's no problem with you unless you're sending shit-talking little stands over here to torture Zod, which I doubt because you seemed very amicable. So let's just keep it that way, and everything will be groovy.
Yeah,
that's how I roll.
Yeah, I agree. I don't understand, any of it, and I'm happy to, I'm very happy to not be talking about it, to not be talking about any of that drama stuff. So next week when we do our next open panel on next Tuesday, we'll be talking hopefully about whatever the topic is next Tuesday, and it won't divulge into some weird drama about people calling other people names. On that note, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I want to thank everybody who gave me super chats on the first day that I was allowed to do super chats, the first live stream. I appreciate all of you. Rhea, Rel McMillan, and I don't want to, that one, Carlos. Thank you very much. Thank you, all of you. You guys are awesome. You guys are amazing, and I appreciate you guys very much. So thank you for being here. Thank you for the super chats. I really appreciate it. You guys are great. Tomorrow, I'm going to have somebody on with me for late night Q&A who's a big part of the retro home arcade community, and that is none other than Retro Ralph. And if you know anything about the home arcade community, you guys know who Retro Ralph is.
No shit.
And Retro Ralph has become a good friend of mine. And him and I are going to sit down and have a wonderful conversation on late night Q&A. So you guys are going to want to be here for that. I hope you guys enjoyed last week when I had Victoria.
Look at you, man. Using all your bot subs to fucking have Retro Ralph on with you, man. No, man, buying them subs really helps you out.
Oh, yeah, right.
I need to get exposed.
Retro Ralph. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I got Retro Ralph of all people tomorrow, but I'm buying subs, right? Okay. Well, on that note, again, good night, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for participating. I appreciate it. I will see you guys tomorrow with Retro Ralph. Good night, everybody. Peace.